Welcome back to the club. Newcastle versus Bournemouth. This is a massive, massive game for both sides, really. It's going to be an entertaining game. Obviously brought to you by Sky Bet as well. Great to see you, lads.
Great to see you. Great to be here. This is huge. It's weird that this game has suddenly become the game. We're going to be watching the form team of the Premier League. We're going to be watching, is this fair to say, the form player of Europe?
Isaac?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's on course. You know, he's potentially on course to nick Jamie Vardy's record. And it will be against you.
It won't happen against us.
If it happens, it happens against you.
I think Mamouche is the form player of Europe at the moment. In my opinion.
Got in early.
Honestly, honestly, this is going to be a really interesting game, entertaining game. Bournemouth travel well. They obviously got a beautiful little draw against you lot. You got Semenyo'd at Stamford Bridge.
You got Semenyo'd. Yeah.
And but Newcastle looking fantastic as well.
I mean, they've done incredibly well because do you know what? It feels like yesterday that I was looking at a good friend of mine who I work with, is a Newcastle fan, and I remember really mocking him recently, going, we're not bothered about you, we're 10 points clear. That's what I was saying to him. I was like, honestly, he was talking about Newcastle United, Newcastle going to do this, Newcastle going to do that, challenge for the top four. And I was saying to him, I need you to stop talking to me out of politeness because we're 10 points clear of you. We're not worried about what you're up to. Like, you're insignificant. They're bloody above us.
Yeah. I predicted this from early, mate. I did. Eddie Howe always gets them going. I know he has little dips here and there, and they've still got a side that you could argue a few of them are championship. A few of them, like that Murphy. Murphy's in unbelievable form. I don't know if you've been watching Newcastle against Wolves midweek, but Murphy was outstanding. Joe Linton as well. I can't believe Joe Linton's the player he is. I can't quite believe it.
Eddie Howe deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I was wrong on him really this season. I thought he wouldn't do too well, and potentially get sacked. Obviously, when you saw his mates leave the boardroom at Newcastle, it looked like a shaky one for him, and their form at the start of the season wasn't the best. But obviously they picked it up, and 9 wins and a spin. I think Alexander Isak's got 7 man of the matches in a row, which is quite incredible as well.
Like I mean, he is the standout player in Europe. You know when we talk about teams that would be improved, or what teams need to do to get themselves back, get themselves fighting, get themselves to be a title contender. I think Alexander Isak is basically a fair shout for every single problem in the Premier League for most of them. So, for example, what do Arsenal need? I think you could easily make the case that Arsenal need Alexander Isak. What do Man City need? I think you could easily make the case that Man City could do with Alexander Isak. What do Chelsea need? I think it's Isak. What do Man United need? 100% they need Isak. So he's just become like the star, like the gem, the genuine superstar lying in wait.
Is he good enough to start in an all-time Newcastle combined 11 in the Premier League era?
No.
Well, let's not rule it out.
Andy Cole, Shearer,
I can immediately think of
Les Ferdinand.
I can immediately think of at least 5 strikers.
In terms of legacy, it's too early to say that. You're right, but in terms of talent, I think he's got talent above the likes of Les Ferdinand, Andy Cole. He could be in terms of talent. Shearer, he's got that. He has got that ability.
I think the best two that Newcastle have ever had Premier League era up front. So a Newcastle fan now will be going mad that we're not talking about Jackie Milburn, but that was kind of before us, right?
Premier
League era. I think that it's impossible to not just go Andy Cole, Alan Shearer, and then next Peter Beardsley.
Beardsley.
And then next Peter Beardsley, and then next Les Ferdinand.
When I spoke to Andy Cole, actually, he said like we kind of give him a loaded question, and he's like, surely he's going to say Dwight York here, and we're going, who's the best player you've played with? And he was like, Peter Beardsley, straight away.
David Ginola, maybe?
Peter Beardsley was at United Academy, you know?
Peter Beardsley was, he's also the only player, like, I know that we're going to come on to speak about this, but you know when we were talking in the WhatsApp group about the legacy of Dennis Law, his contribution to football, and obviously we're going to talk about that imminently. A lot of what we talk about, a lot of what makes Dennis Law such an icon is being loved on both halves of Manchester.
Yeah.
Peter Beardsley is one of the very few players that is loved on both parts of Merseyside. Like he played for Everton, was brilliant for Everton and is loved. Played for Liverpool, was brilliant for Liverpool and is loved. So it doesn't surprise me that that's the case. Did you happen to see? I saw a do you know that game that footballers play? It's quite a funny clip you can watch where they play sort of winner stays on.
Yeah.
Did you see Teddy Sheringham? And Teddy Sheringham has played with some like unbelievable.
I saw that, and the first one was a bit cheeky. He was a bit cheeky.
Who was the first one?
The first one was Andy Cole versus I can't remember. Someone that was like nowhere near Andy Cole's level.
He
doesn't like Andy Cole.
You can't take his opinions on Andy Cole seriously.
No, exactly.
What did he say though? Did he
pick someone that was way below Andy Cole?
Right.
I've got to remember who it is.
But do you know what? I didn't notice that. I should have looked out for that actually, because obviously I know the history.
It's the first one, yeah.
Yeah, their relationship is unbelievable. Do you remember that Neil Ruddock story? But anyway, to this story, at the end he goes, it becomes Jurgen Klinsmann or Alan Shearer. Like
No, he did Klinsmann or Andy Cole. That's what it was. He started the start of the video.
Oh,
is
but that means,
Andy
that
Cole
means he
versus
wasn't being
Klinsmann.
snide then.
No,
That means he wasn't being
I think
snide
he was a
because
little bit.
He
that
definitely
means-
was, though.
No, but that means
Klinsmann
he wasn't-
in the Premier League
No,
era.
actually, if that's the case, that means he wasn't being snide because he put Klinsmann ahead of Shearer. In the end, he was like Klinsmann.
Right, yeah, maybe.
So that means
yeah.
he wasn't being snide because he said the best player that he played with up front. Bearing in mind,
Oh, yeah, he would have played with him at Spurs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Klinsmann, yeah, twice. I think Klinsmann went back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Klinsmann went back. Do you remember that 4-3 game they had when Klinsmann did the dive at Hillsborough?
Yeah, that's...
So that means he wasn't. In fairness to Teddy Sheringham, that means he wasn't being snide because that was the overall
Yeah, it
winner.
makes sense now.
That was the overall.
What I found amazing about that pair was it never shone on the pitch. And occasionally they'd celebrate goals, high five, and you think, you like hate each other, what are you doing? But they just never...
because it's professionalism, though.
Yeah.
I think that is a brilliant example of how it should be, how football should be, or not even football. Isn't that how life should be?
That's how life is. You can't be mates with everyone you work with.
You can't be mates with everyone
Do you know
you
what I
work
mean?
with,
It's like,
but you have to be. You have to be a true professional about everyone you work with.
Of course.
Yeah, I really don't get how some people think that everybody needs to be best mates. And they were excellent together. Well, I mean, they won the treble together. Kind of the end of the conversation. They won the treble, but they did hate each other. I remember Neil Ruddock. Did you ever hear Neil Ruddock's story?
No, I wanted to hear that when you first...
Neil Ruddock told a story about Andy Cole, and he was asked. You know, he broke both of his legs. Andy Cole broke both of his legs in the same tackle that Neil Ruddock did. And Neil Ruddock was asked about it, and he basically said, he kind of admitted doing it on purpose. And he went like this. He went, I didn't break both his legs on purpose. I was only aiming for one of them. That's what he said. Because Ruddock was best friends with Sheringham.
Right.
From their Tottenham days.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Little
Yeah.
shitbag.
Yeah. I mean,
That's his invite to the club. Disappeared forever.
What, Ruddock?
Yeah.
No, he's
Go
invited.
fuck himself.
I'd love Ruddock to come on the club.
it's all a long time ago, though, Ad, I imagine.
No, I'll never forget.
No, I'll never forget. I'll never forgive, never forget. Didn't even happen to me, but never forget.
Oh man, I love Andy Cole. It's nice to see the interview that we did with him. It keeps popping up, like because some
Yeah,
of
it's
the
a great
quotes in
interview.
it.
I've watched that.
I think it's the
full.
best interview Andy Cole's ever done, and it's kind of weird saying that because it's the one we did, but you very rarely hear him speak about some of those things. Rory, I got some breaking news for you.
Breaking news. This is
Breaking news.
Literally breaking news.
An exclusive has just come through and hit me on the news desk.
Go on.
Wayne Bridge is being lined up to fight KSI.
KSI loses that fight. I'm not even joking.
He does.
I'm not even joking. Wayne Bridge is a warrior. Do you know why I know this? Look, Wayne Bridge is an athlete, an excellent footballer, and would go down as one of the best left backs. It's just there is one obvious brilliant left back and nobody can compete. Wayne Bridge's career was completely stunted by the brilliance of Ashley Cole. But do you know why else I know that he is an absolute geezer? He did Who Dares SAS Wins or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Mate,
But just to counteract that,
he's a warrior.
He's one of them that's good at every
there's
sport.
one of them that's good at every-
good at tennis, I've
times
heard
when
as
these
well.
content creators have fought people that are like UFC fighters or NFL players, and people go, "Wow, the athlete's going to win, right? They're athletes, or
Yeah,
the
I
UFC
always
fighter's
say
going to
that.
win."
I always say that, yeah.
And it never
always
really
say that.
turns out that way.
No, but Wayne Bridge, watching Wayne Bridge on Who Dares Wins, he was just unbelievable. And do you know footballers, a lot of them do have that aptitude for just being better than the normal person. Like in a really small example, there's a darts board that's taken very seriously at TalkSport. If you ever play a former pro, they beat you. Like, you know, if I play Darren Bent at darts, he just beats me. Like, he just beats me. And I'm all right. You know, I play Addy. I can beat Addy. I played Darren Bent and it's over before it's begun. I played Darren Ambrose. It's over before it's begun. They're just good at sport, man.
Yeah. If it's a fair fight, Wayne Bridge smashes the lights out of KSI. If it's a fair fight,
What is if it's a fair fight to you? What does that
it's
mean?
his event. It's not, and we all know it's pantomime boxing, a large part of it. It is. Do you know what I mean? You look at some of the Jake Paul fights. I'm not saying KSI.
Are you suggesting some of these fights are scripted?
A touch scripted, yeah. I think it's half between boxing, half between wrestling in terms of the narrative and the storyline. I do.
Do you know? I don't know enough
You get
about
banged,
it.
mate.
I don't know enough about it, but I do concur with Buvey's suggestion that it's also entertaining.
I don't know. I just feel like if KSI has been in the gym as much as we kind of see,
Wayne Bridge
he
is
has
always in the
been.
gym now. I follow him on social media.
Boxing though, in a boxing gym,
No,
But he's still
keeping your cardio up isn't the same as boxing.
I went go-karting with him. He's a fantastic go-karter. No, I'm going to bring that up again, lads. I went go-karting. He won at go-karting.
Was he good at
So I
go-karting?
think he's going to smash him in
Did
the
he win at
boxing ring.
go-karting?
Yeah. And David Bentley was saying that he practices go-karting until he wins. He was rubbish at go-karting. He went down to the go-kart track every single day to get
He's got the best, yeah.
And now he's best out of all the ex-pros,
know what?
Carlton Cole and all that.
Yeah.
You know what could line up here? What if Wayne Bridge wins and then there's like a career in this for him?
Mate, should we
And then
try
John
and get...
Terry enters it. John Terry, Wayne Bridge.
You
in
deserve a
boxing
piece of
ring.
the action for saying that. You deserve 5% for bringing
Mate,
that idea
do
up.
you know there is a chance? Do you think, though, very few things happen by accident? Do you feel like that could actually be the way that it's being manoeuvred? Like,
I don't know, it
Is
make-
that the...
John Terry, I could see John Terry getting into Misfits.
But the
He got up. He said his missus.
Oh,
you already did that.
There's nothing in it for John Terry to fight Wayne
I was telling my mate about the whole Wayne Bridge thing.
I
when he
mean,
joined
John
City.
Terry loves a
It was
pound
six,
note.
it was a 6 week period, wasn't it? It was in the summer of the summer that he signed for Man City. That whole thing came out, and it was like August. We played you,
Yeah.
in the white kit. City were in the white kit with Mancini.
You beat us 4-2. I remember.
But it must have been like 6 weeks.
Mate,
He's
it
gone
was the
from
red and
Chelsea
black
to
strip,
City.
right, Danny?
It put us in such an awkward position because we liked Wayne Bridge.
Yeah.
Well, like I still do like Wayne Bridge. Wayne Bridge is actually responsible for one of the most historic moments in Chelsea Football Club
Goal
history.
against Arsenal.
The goal against Arsenal. It was the Arsenal invincible team. Arsenal would have won the Champions League that year. Like genuinely, they won the league at a canter. Henry, Bergkamp, Pires. They would have beaten Monaco, who we lost to.
Definitely.
And they would have beaten Porto. I genuinely think.
Why did they lose to you in that game then? Like, what
They
was
lost
the
to us in that
tactical-
game. We drew 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Good Johnson scored for us, and Good Johnson scored for us, and then Pires scored a header, I think. We went away. They went 1-0 up. Like they were so confident. And
But what,
we
you a bit
just-
more defensively robust? Was it a little bit Wenger? Like,
we just fought so hard. Lampard got an equaliser. McKola had a brilliant. We had a good team.
yeah,
We had a good team.
of course, yeah.
And then it just went our way. Crespo, we were a team full of stars.
Oh, Crespo was still. Oh, yeah.
Crespo
Oh, was that-
played the
of course
1-2.
he is, yeah.
Crespo played the 1-2.
Wow.
It was the year before Mourinho, so it was Ranieri's last season.
I've had a great idea. Remember how we got John Terry to say whatever we wanted on Cameo?
Get him to say this. I call out.
But jumble the words up
And then
we'll
cut
stitch
it and
them
we'll edit
together.
it. Yeah.
It's getting better and better with
Because
you.
he could say
honestly.
Stamford Bridge.
He deserves
Look,
10%.
We can make him say
today.
Stamford
He's bought
Bridge.
He's bought me a.
We could say for my mate
Hi,
Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne. He says Stamford Bridge later
Yeah.
on in the video.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope your missus is doing well. Chelsea bang Norwich in the cup. I think it should be bang missus.
I bagged you.
Hope you're doing well.
Do you know when you think about that? It was actually one of the most mental soap opera moments of football ever. Like, do you know what?
Mate,
I remember
it was all
going,
over the front pages.
I remember going to Inter Milan. We played Inter Milan. Must have been that year. I remember going to the San Siro. The big banner. Do you know what it said? You know, like the tube, the iconic tube thing. Mind the gap. It said, "Mind your wife." In the tube thing.
Or from Inter
From
fans.
Inter fans. That was
Wow.
their.
Oh, from Inter fans.
From Inter
I thought
fans.
Chelsea fans
No,
wanted
from
it.
Inter fans.
That's
That was their
mental.
that was their thing.
And he was what, on the bench?
No,
Or you-
Terry would have been playing for us, and Bridge would have gone.
Have there
Right.
ever been any stories from like inside the dressing room about that period of time?
I haven't.
Because it must have been mental on the training pitch,
It
in
must
the
have
dressing
been.
room. Like,
It's actually one of those weird things where nobody, and I think this is a good thing, but nobody's really spoken, have they? I haven't ever
You
heard.
don't hear anything.
No.
No.
The only person who was actually quite enlightening about it was Craig Bellamy in the post-match interview off the back of you beating us. Do you remember Bellamy's
Oh,
words?
when you played for City. No, what did he say?
In the interview off the back of beating us, Craig Bellamy that day was unplayable.
Yeah,
And
he was
actually
fantastic
did
that
Terry.
season. That
He
season,
actually
he's
did Terry.
fantastic.
He's a great player.
That was the season he scored
He's a
2
great
against
player,
you lot.
Craig Bellamy. He's a
Yeah,
good,
no, he
really,
was
really good,
fantastic.
really,
Underrated,
really
underrated.
good player. Hateful but brilliant. Craig Bellamy that day, you beat us 4-2. I think we went 1-0 up. Bellamy was just unplayable. In the interview after the game, he just spoke about it. He didn't care. He's that kind of guy. And he basically went, "This is the quote." Funny how you remembered. I don't know who Chelsea played last week, but I can remember. He actually said, this was the quote: "Everyone knows what John's like." They went, what was it like? He's like, "We're glad to win it. We're glad to win it for Wayne. Everyone knows what John's like." That's what he said on Match of the
Crazy.
Day.
That's crazy.
But he's the only person who I feel has ever spoke. How haven't ITV done a drama on it? You know, like they did the Colleen Rooney.
They will now. They will now. Honestly.
Do you think?
there's another
Yeah.
idea.
Bringing things
Mate, we're on
into
fire
existence.
today.
we're
We're on
unbelievable.
fire. Click subscribe, please, because we're in a little bit of a purple patch here, and we need some support now because we'll be back to square one. Boovy's going to start talking about Haaland in a minute. We'll be back to square one. Just before we go any further, though, I do need to let you know that we are brought to you by Sky Bet. We are honoured to have partnered with them for the rest of the season. It's a fantastic partnership. They have some amazing offers on the app. Go into the link in the description and click the link and find out more. There's loads going on, eh, Booth?
Yeah, free boosts and obviously bets as well all season long. Make sure you check it out. The link in the description down below.
Sky Bet for the fans and, of course, the club for all the OGs. So make sure you keep it locked and check Sky Bet out now. Bournemouth, Newcastle, Bournemouth, rather, at St. James's Park. Can Newcastle keep
Come on the cherries.
going?
Come on the
I
cherries.
mean, we need. I think, Boothie, do you admit this yet? Do you need Bournemouth? Like, as a Chelsea fan, we need Bournemouth to win.
Yeah.
City,
There's not enough space. It's congestion.
Yeah,
Seriously, there's about 7 clubs going for 2 spots. Because Arsenal are guaranteed top 4. I really believe that. And obviously Liverpool are, even if they win the league or whatever, they come first or second. But then Chelsea's still in it, I'm afraid. They are. Villa, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest and Man City all fighting for 2 spots. Seriously.
Is there kind of like, I remember when we'd be going for those spots and you'd be going for, I don't know, Newcastle or someone like that. In this instance, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth. Isn't there kind of just like an expectation that once it gets to the tail end of the season, they'll just drop off?
Do you know what, though? It goes
Villa
longer
didn't
and
last
longer.
season.
It goes longer and longer and longer. What happens is, at one point you go, well, Forest will come down with the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
And then the Christmas lights have been down a long time and Forest are still going and going strong. And you think, well, Newcastle, at some point they're going to drop. And actually what they're doing is they're moving in the opposite direction. It's Chelsea that are, it's us that are the team that look like we're dropping with the Christmas light. We haven't won a game since like mid-December.
Yeah, it's mad. The run you've been on.
And we've played some really easy beatable teams. And Cole Palmer's out this week.
How long for?
Well, he's out he misses the Wolves game.
That's season over. That's season over for you lot.
It's quite a dramatic statement.
Which is one game.
In a weird way, not that, but kind of that. Like, if he doesn't say it so brazenly, there is.
I think it might be. It might be season. It's probably definitely season over.
Detrimental to our aspiration.
Probably definitely season over.
Yeah, honestly, I can't believe it. The way you guys have fallen apart in the last few weeks, honestly.
I'm going for a Desmond.
Here,
Yeah, I think Bournemouth do something.
I think Newcastle are going to absolutely smash.
It'd be incredible if they go 10 games on a
Do you want
Newcastle.
Isak to score? Like, do you want Isak, whether you want Newcastle to win or lose or whatever? Do you want Isak to score? Do you want him to have potential of getting this record?
Nah.
I do.
Nah.
What's he 3 off now?
I quite like Jamie
off.
Vardy having it.
Yeah, I want Jamie Vardy to have it.
I think it's like Jamie Vardy's story is amazing, isn't it?
Jamie Vardy's story is amazing.
Like, and just having that record as well is great.
Plus,
I don't want Isaac to
Are you still
equal
friends
Van
with his
Nistelrooy.
postman Nicola? Are you?
You know he's got a restraining order
Against
him.
you?
No, Jamie Vardy's got a restraining order against his lookalike. You know that. I've told you that, haven't I?
Yeah, that's bad, that is.
Madness.
Remember
He
when
invited him
after
on
they
the
won
coach.
title, they had him on the coach?
Yeah, he had him on the coach. And then apparently what happened was he sent him a few DMs like, oh, can I get you on a video, whatever. And then Jamie Vardy just did a restraining order against him. Just used him for a few selfies and then fucked him off like that.
No, but it did
nice guy, though.
intense,
Lee,
didn't it?
I think. Lee
It
something.
did get intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going on ITV and stuff, wasn't he? He was walking around
I do
Leicester
have a little
City
bit
in a
of
full
sympathy
Leicester
for
City
people
kit.
like that.
No, but do you know what I always never...
Not
what I
Vardy.
can't quite understand, right? You know when people make their selling point something really, really niche? So do you remember, thankfully, he's dropped out of all, like, our awareness now, which is good news. But do you remember that geezer who used to swallow food?
Actually, there's a super chat
Oh my
about him.
God.
Remember?
No, but
There's
he's not.
a
He's not
super
dropped
chat
out.
about him.
Yeah.
He's got a career conversion into a different kind of
cryptocurrency.
social media
There's
or video making.
There's a super chat about him.
Oh, far right.
No,
No,
he's
the
doing
other
boxing
thing.
and that as well, isn't he? Dave Wilco with the super chat. Got to read it out. Says, does Rory know about Bevo and Bonnie Blue yet?
Is that who I'm talking about? That's mental.
Bevo, yeah.
No, Bevo's the
Swallow.
guy.
Bevo
Bonnie
just
Blue's
swallows potatoes without chewing them.
yeah. But he's now got a new career.
But I know who Bonnie Blue is.
Yeah,
Let me search Bevo.
that's not-
Bournemouth.
No, that's so weird because I was just saying that he was my example of somebody that made his career. I can swallow potatoes without chewing them.
Yeah.
And then I thought he dropped off the face of the earth.
No, he's
And
making.
then he did some videos like watching his missus get piped.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was some stuff that he was doing.
yeah.
No.
And now he's taken a different career.
What?
There he is.
Oh my god.
Two absolute swallowers.
Oh my god.
Bonnie loves to swallow. Bevo loves to swallow.
Jeez.
I saw a tweet about her and like she's into the like she doesn't care. Lily Phillips, you can see it in her eyes.
Oh,
that
yeah,
she's upset about
she's
it.
regretted it.
Bonnie Blue has got
they're very
this
interchangeable to me. I can't
professional.
actually tell. I know who they both are, but I
She's got
can't
a killer
actually-
instinct for the game.
For me,
She
it's
loves
like-
the game. That was the tweet.
There's people in
for
the
me,
chat
it's-
saying Bevo's on OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, basically. That's what I was trying to say to you.
For me, do you know Bonnie
Cryptically.
Blue and Lily Phillips? They're completely
No,
interchangeable.
no,
For me,
no.
they're like the members of NSYNC. Like I have no idea who any
Bonnie
of them are.
Bonnie Blue is ruthless. Yeah, she's the Ronaldo, Cristiano
would
Ronaldo,
you
the
recognise the
ruthless work
difference?
ethic. Messi, Lily Phillips, the more of the emotional side of things. Seriously. But Bonnie Blue's the more professional, straight down the line.
Now you need the real
If
life.
I showed you a
Just
photo,
enjoy
course.
both of them. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. You're living at a time, mate. You should
Thousands
be happy to
between
witness
them.
the greatness.
Thousands
You were
between
witnessing
them.
two of the best professionals ever, and
Seriously.
you're trying to choose between them.
But Bonnie Blue's the ruthless
It's
one.
got
Yeah,
go on,
Cherries!
Oh, Semenyo,
He's
he
gotta
has to
score that.
score.
Oh, he's got to score
Semenyo
that.
has to score.
He smashed it against you lot, didn't he, in midweek?
Look at watch
Yeah,
this
he scored a
save.
great goal, didn't he?
Save, I say save. Watch the way that I think it's Dubravka just pushes this out. It's like ridiculous save. He just pushes
Onside.
it. Well,
Terrible.
maybe
He's gotta
done
score
enough.
that.
Although I suppose
You know what
Joe
it is?
Linton
You know the
could do
players
more in
on
the
the
middle.
line make it a difficult finish, but yeah, he should be.
You just
getting
have to
it
hit
on
the target, don't
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Clever little hit from.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's got to bury that.
got to bury
You're
that.
right, Booth. He's got to bury that.
Even just bend it around the corner. It doesn't have to be high. But he's been fantastic, Semenyo. Unbelievable. I mean, the goal against you lot was superb.
But mate, he's a great player. He's actually another one in a slightly less obvious way than Alexander Isak. He's the kind of player where you go, Semenyo would be a great player for Man City. Semenyo would be a great player for Chelsea. Semenyo would be a great answer to Arsenal's problems.
He's ready for the move. I think he's ready for the move. Or Spurs. He's a Spurs kind of player. as well.
There's quite a lot of players who are operating in the bottom. I don't know, not always bottom half of the Premier League, but sometimes bottom half of the Premier League, or certainly for clubs where you can see a world where you could prize them away, that would elevate top teams.
Definitely.
Like
definitely.
Wolves have got at least two players where you go,
Yeah.
they would elevate
Yeah.
Chelsea and Arsenal.
Ipswich.
Ipswich
Lindelof.
have got two or three. I think.
Man
Bournemouth-
United have got a few
Bournemouth-
players that I think we should be taking from the bottom half of the table. Garnacho would be fantastic. He'll be gone by the end of the
And
window.
Chelsea, you've seen the Chelsea links for Garnacho.
I think Chelsea are just always monitoring good young players.
Yeah, 20-year-old. Yeah.
I think that's where Chelsea are at the moment.
You don't need another winger.
Always monitoring them.
It's crazy.
Nasco says, boys, we're going to talk about Man City a little bit in depth later, but they say, boys, are Man City preparing for a transfer ban, or do they know that they'll just get a fine? Could be either. We were discussing this just before we went live, and we will discuss it
Conspiracy
at
theories.
half time as well, so keep it locked for that.
Got
chat.
Alex Jones in the chat. Conspiracy theories. A guy signs a contract and it's
Go
a
on.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah!
Cliver.
Go on, Cliver! Paddy will be proud.
Oh my God! Oh, against his dad's old team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Against his dad's old team,
And
isn't
it's the Eddie Howe derby.
it?
Yeah,
the Eddie
of
Howe
course.
derby.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking yes, lad.
They've been good. They've been good.
Iraola is not a joke.
No, he's a top manager.
He is
top
not
manager.
a joke.
Yeah.
How's he built this team at Bournemouth, man? How's he done this?
That Hodgson's fantastic. They're all fantastic, man. I can't believe it.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? How he's managed to build this team at a club like Bournemouth. Like
Yeah.
Bournemouth. I don't mean this in a sneery way, but functionally, they're a League One club.
If that.
Yeah, agreed. And they're going to play in Europe.
I think they are. I think they are. Yeah, 100%.
Well, if you're winning at St James's Park, it's a good goal. But Dubravka,
When they sacked Gary O'Neill.
Booby, Dubravka, yes or no?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Ball back in. No, I don't think so.
Side
It's a
net,
good
it's a good
finish.
finish.
Low in it.
It is
Low
a
and
good
high.
finish.
Look at that. It's a great finish.
Yeah, no,
You might be- maybe
nobody's
Pope
close
saves
enough. Is it Jacob Murphy? Should he be close? Oh, he scuffed it. He's lucky.
Yeah, he bounced over him a little bit. But we saw it with the Bournemouth owner when they sacked Gary O'Neill. He went on Monday Night Football, I think it was. Do you remember? And he was sort of saying he wasn't right for us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These American owners, they're ruthless. I know they're not spending hundreds of millions, but they spend a lot of money, Bournemouth. A lot of money.
Yeah,
They're ambitious, man.
they are. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
they're back in
Newcastle.
Newcastle nearly with an immediate answer.
If they beat Newcastle,
Yeah, if you
this
win
is
at
a
St. James's
serious win for
Seriously.
Bournemouth.
Oh, look, do you think that Bournemouth can actually qualify for Europe this year?
Yeah, of
any
course.
Europe, like
100%.
Conference League.
100%. Yeah, 100%. They'll be hoping for someone like maybe Forest to drop out of it a little bit, Brighton to fall off a little bit, maybe Villa. But I think if things go their way, they can definitely get into that Conference League position. I think they have to be aiming for that.
Can you imagine if Bournemouth qualified for Europe?
It's mental.
That would be the smallest English club to ever make it into Europe via league position, wouldn't it?
Burnley. Are they bigger than
I think
Burnley?
Burnley a bigger
than
club.
that? Yeah,
Burnley
they
a
are.
bigger, much bigger
Yeah,
club
yeah.
actually. But
I reckon
Bournemouth,
there's some crazy shout from like the 90s or something. There must be some crazy shout.
Norwich
The
were-
smallest club from England to play in European football.
via league position though. So like
Yeah,
don't-
no
not-
FA Cup or
yeah, and also people
League
might
Cup.
start talking about like the Welsh side, like British sides, and that's
Yeah,
different.
or the fair play league. Remember that?
Yeah.
Man City got him 1 year.
Yeah. That was a crazy idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're the least dirty team, and you
So you
qualify
get
for Europe.
rewarded. It's like it's almost cheating on a level.
Well, do you know what? You used to get teams though going into a certain point of the season where they would go out to not foul.
Yeah.
They would go out
That's
to
crazy.
just. It doesn't matter what the score is. Just don't get
The
booked.
fair play league. That's
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, that was.
Do you remember that?
Isn't it weird?
Yeah, you used to get into like the Intertoto Cup. Or
To
something.
try and entice teams to be clean. I don't get like football is a contact sport. There's beauty in a filthy challenge.
Who's the smallest club to get into Europe from English football?
Via league position though.
Ipswich.
No, they're a big club.
They've won it as well.
They're the biggest club in their area.
No, they're small. Like
Fulham are
like
way
Burnley?
smaller. No, we said
he said
Burnley, but they're bigger than Bournemouth.
But Bournemouth. But if Bournemouth make it, will they be the smallest team to ever get there?
Stoke City,
Bournemouth, mate. Stoke.
Portsmouth.
Bournemouth would be the
Portsmouth are
smallest
bigger.
club, yeah.
Bournemouth would be the smallest team to ever do it.
That's crazy.
Wait, didn't Brighton?
Brighton
Brighton.
did. Brighton did.
Brighton are bigger than Bournemouth, but they're both
Really?
tiny. Yeah, Brighton are bigger than
They're
Bournemouth.
both.
Bournemouth have got a more of a
But
Premier League heritage.
Brighton's a city.
though, right?
Brighton's a city. Bournemouth's a town now.
But
No,
footballing
but
wise,
forget-
though.
Footballing wise.
Yeah, but
though.
we're going down to the argument now for Brighton versus Bournemouth goes down to the size of the fan base
They're
and,
two
and
of
all
the
that. Do you know what I mean?
Are Bournemouth
But I
bigger?
feel like Brighton.
There's about 5
Brighton are a
fans.
bigger club, man.
Who?
Brighton.
No, I said
I remember,
Brighton,
like,
Brighton's got more fans and it's a slightly
Yeah.
bigger club than Bournemouth.
I'm not
They
sure.
were both League 1, League 2 when I was a kid.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Bournemouth were
I'm
nearly in the
arguing
fucking
against myself there,
Vanarama.
like, Brighton.
Yeah, you were arguing against
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, I was, wasn't
But
I?
yeah, Bournemouth were a Vanarama side when I was a kid, nearly.
Yeah, like
He
I
saved
remember
them. He was a
Brighton,
few
like,
games
remember
away.
the Leon night days and that.
Yeah.
Brighton.
Bobby Zamora.
Skin on the shirt.
Yeah, Bobby Zamora.
Wayne
wasn't
Bridge
it?
played for Brighton at the end of his
maybe.
career.
Fat Boy Slim on the pitch.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Come on, the cherries.
Come on, lads.
Yeah.
Come
Where
on,
did
lads.
they play? Where did they? Was it Gillingham they played?
Brighton, Gillingham. Yeah.
Brighton used to
Playoff
play
final.
at no.
Play at Gillingham.
Brighton
Did
used to
they?
play at Gillingham Stadium. Yeah, they didn't have a
Wow.
stadium for years.
Wow,
Brighton.
that's crazy.
They played at Gillingham. I'm sure it was Gillingham.
How
Which is a
far's
long
that a
way.
trek, man?
It's a long way, yeah. Gillingham's in Kent, isn't it? Like deep Kent. And yeah, Brighton used to
Is
play.
Kent south of London?
Much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kent's Dover and all that, isn't it?
Yeah, Kent's Dover. But it's also like those London borders, like Sidcup and all of those very uninspiring areas. Bromley.
Reminds me of David Brent.
Yes, it winners. Taplow.
Smallest club to play in Europe is Man
it's Bournemouth.
City.
Yeah. Oh,
Who are
Mirage.
these guys? Who are these guys? What do you
1-0 to Mirage. Right,
I should've read it out.
Mirage.
Shout.
Mirage.
believe it.
And it's a super chat, so you got to read it
I
out.
think City might be the smallest side to win the Champions League. That's
No,
fair. I think that's fair.
It's smaller. It's much
Oh,
smaller.
Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah, Red Star Belgrade.
But Red Star Belgrade
They
have
were
got a
one of the
massive
early
fan
ones,
base.
though, innit?
Yeah, at
Yeah.
the time they wouldn't have been smaller, but they're smaller now.
There's one in Romania as well, Bucharest.
Steaua Bucharest.
PSV.
Yeah.
Ooh, PSV a big club.
They're all smaller than Man City today, though,
Yeah.
because of what's happened to the Premier
Celtic.
League.
Celtic. You are mental for that, by the way.
But right now, they're a League One
By the way,
side. Celtic.
Buvey said that, not me or
No, but
Rory.
Celtic are a League One side in terms of players.
Oh, they're not, man.
They get banged in League One
If
by
Celtic
Wycombe
were in the
Wanderers.
Prem, they attract more players than most clubs.
Mate, well, do you know? I think that should. Do you know what needs to happen? Something along the lines of the League Cup becomes a British Cup because
That'd be good.
it's like something needs to change. Because I saw that the Welsh teams are going to leave the League Cup competition and enter the Welsh Cup. So, like, Swansea will get into the Conference League because they'll win.
Let
the
them
Welsh
just
Cup.
leave all English football. Let
Well,
them
that's
leave.
that's
Fuck
something
it.
that they might.
They can
have to
play.
do.
But the
They can
FA
play
is England and
TNS
Wales, isn't it?
all season, huh?
It is, but if they leave, like, it depends how the FA view it. It's an interesting thing, though.
I'd let them play in their own little league. Just Newport, Swansea, Cardiff, and TNS
Have you
and
been looking at the Champions League?
Vauxhall. Isn't there a side called Vauxhall Factory?
Vauxhall
or something?
Motors. Vauxhall Motors.
Vauxhall
Not
Motors.
Vauxhall Motors beat QPR in the FA Cup.
Did they
It's like the workers at Vauxhall, you know, like the mechanics and that. They knocked QPR out of the cup.
But that's how PSV started, isn't it?
and Bayer
Workers
Leverkusen.
of Philips.
And
Bayern's most famous.
and Locomotive Moscow. Railway lines. Railway lines. That's why
Wolfsburg
it's
as
called
well,
Locomotive,
maybe?
isn't it?
There's a German club.
Wolfsburg.
They're Bayer Leverkusen. They're the most famous.
Bayer
No,
example.
Wolfsburg are cars.
Yeah, the VW.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bayer literally give their profits into the football club.
Who? Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, Bayer. Like they make pharmaceutical.
Yeah, Locomotive Moscow.
Talcum
the
powder.
reason their locomotive was like it was all the railway line.
Madness.
Yeah.
Madness.
But it's like that's how United started. It was the Newton Heath Railway.
It's usually
club.
churches or factories or religious groups, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like old
Yeah.
football.
I think Everton was definitely that.
Yeah. I think City's a church. It's a church group. I think.
Yeah. Did you know that Everton used to play at Anfield?
I didn't know that. No.
Did you know that?
What, on the site of Anfield?
I know United played at Main Road when Old Trafford got bombed. I know that.
That's
Right.
mad,
Well, yeah, because do you know, my mate put it in a WhatsApp group. We were talking about Stamford Bridge, and my mate said that Chelsea are the only team to have played in the same stadium for their entire life. And my other mate put Liverpool. Liverpool haven't played anywhere, and Everton haven't played anywhere else. And it turns out that Everton have actually played at Anfield. I didn't know. I said he was wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Everton won the league at Anfield before Liverpool.
Wow. That is IQ from
Absolutely,
Jack.
Ron Bergen did that.
That is IQ from
Yeah.
Jack. Fuck it. No, he's not even Googled it. That is that's football IQ.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
His football IQ also said Celtic are above
Chelsea
City
and Man
in the Champions
City, just, Liverpool, and I'm just putting the facts out there. You know how Liverpool have this huge pedigree in Europe, which is completely true and justified. Both Chelsea and Man City won European silverware before Liverpool won any.
Yeah, City 1970. You were 70.
No, we were 70. Oh, we were 71. You were 70.
We were
71.
70.
Yeah, we won the FA Cup and then won the Cup Winners' Cup. You'd won the Cup Winners' Cup as well. We took it from you.
Yeah.
We beat Real Madrid in Athens. Oh, that's a good tackle, actually. I was going to say that's filthy. Good
Even
tackle.
Spurs
worse,
were.
but it was
Spurs
good
won
tackle.
before, didn't they, as well?
It's a great tackle.
Yeah.
Is that a foul? Are you giving a foul for that?
Go on, Clivert, lad.
I like Clive. He's come good in the last few weeks as well.
He's a good player.
I remember when he came in, people questioned if he could cut it.
It's so hard when your dad's so good, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
so hard. Like what chance have you got really? Because people are constantly.
No, you see so many kids or brothers playing like they're both professionals, like their dad and the son, or the brother and the brothers and all that. Is it like there must be like in the genes, isn't it, just to be a good footballer?
I think it's in the genes, but I also think that you're more likely. If your dad was a top level footballer,
Yeah.
you've got a good chance because your dad will know the right people to get you in front of the right people and the grounding and the training from a young age.
And the training, the diet, and all that.
So
Yeah.
you've got.
we go.
Go on, Bournemouth.
He's rapid.
Who's
Defending.
that?
Who's that?
Livermento. Yeah, he's fantastic. I'm starting to see what you were going on about in the summer, but
when I said
playing
about
for
England?
England. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too
Made
soon then,
Semenyo
but he's
lad.
so good, mate.
Unlucky. That
Fucking
was good play by
unbelievable.
John.
How's he not playing for Chelsea? I reckon it's a great game. If you look around the league and go, why is X not playing for the team that they could be playing for? So, for example, why is Callum Hudson-Odoi not playing for Chelsea when McKola Mudryk is?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because he was linked to Bayern Munich for a really big move at
Yeah,
one point.
70 million. Sorry, we put him on.
70 mil.
And then they sold
70
him
mil.
for 4.
But you look at his form now, and you're like, hang on a minute, did Bayern see something? Because imagine the player with the grounding.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
basically had 2 years off.
Yeah.
But he's a good player, Hudson-Odoi. Better
he's
than a lot of the
fantastic.
wingers we have.
He's better than obviously Mudryk.
He's better than João
Sancho?
Felix. He's better than Sancho, I
He's
think.
better than a
You
lot of
think, yeah?
wingers in the league.
He's better, yeah.
They're
Like
really
Callum
good players.
Hudson-Odoi. And the other thing I'd say, Ola Reina is definitely a better player than Malo Gusto.
Yeah, Ain is a
So
fantastic.
why is
fullback.
Ola Reina not playing for Chelsea?
Murillo would start for you lot.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Their whole back line would probably start for City as well.
And yeah, Milenkovic.
Milinkovic,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, who if you look
Sells
around the
would
league,
start for you?
if you look around, I was going to say, for you, Cole Palmer.
Yeah, Cole
No,
Palmer.
do you want to know some,
Lavia, I
do you
love
wanna know some
Lavia.
mad news about Sells? Sells. So Chelsea are owned by Clearlake.
Mm.
Do you know Sells was a Clearlake player at Bordeaux,
Wow.
and we didn't get
see
him.
it.
They didn't. They sold him.
It's mad.
It's ridiculous, isn't
I
it?
think this multi-club thing's a little bit overrated. Everyone thinks you're going to get the best talent. You can just hoard talent, but it's hard to spot talent.
No, it isn't.
It takes a Forest it takes a Forest to look at Sells at Bordeaux. Do you know, it's hard for Chelsea.
Also,
because
some teams
if
can get
Chelsea
away with
signs
giving
someone from
someone a
Bordeaux,
chance.
there's a lot of pressure on that
No, but
transfer.
Isn't that someone's job though, Booth? Dan Burns kept it in for Bournemouth on the attack. What's he doing? He's giving it to the worst player he could possibly.
They're all
give it
over
to.
Newcastle.
They really are. They score another one. Newcastle are in big trouble. But Booth, what I'm saying is here, right? You know how you're saying it's difficult to see it until someone gives them an opportunity. What I'm saying is, mate, there's people at a football club who are on hundreds of thousands of pounds,
Yeah.
whose responsibility it is to spot that talent.
Yeah.
So if you go, well, I didn't see it when he was playing for Bordeaux. Yeah, of course you didn't. You're not the geezer that's meant
Yeah.
to.
Well, being a Man United fan, I know that like our scouting network finds a lot of players that the board just never pulled the trigger on because they'll find issues with potentially
Yeah.
making that.
But if you
signing.
don't-
so it's not always what I'm trying to say. It's not always the scouts.
It's easier to go to Brighton and just get hit. If I'm the owner of Chelsea and I've got a lot of power, which is ridiculous amount of power to have, if I'm Todd Bowley, I'll take the Brighton keeper. He's played in the Premier League 35 times. That's obvious. I'll take him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're both being quite
Now,
kind.
Bournemouth are up for this.
I think you're both being quite kind. I think it's it's embarrassing for Chelsea that Ola Reina isn't playing right back for us, or Hudson-Odoi isn't playing, or Sells isn't our goalie. I think it's embarrassing for Man City that Cole Palmer is doing what he's doing.
Palmer's the one that's got him. And I like Lavia as well.
Lavia,
but
fine.
Palmer,
I think. Have you got any others? Are there any others in the Premier? You've got a very big
Morgan Rogers.
Morgan Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Did you see? I think it's Morgan Rogers to Watkins. One of the best. It's one of the best partnerships.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
terms
it
of,
is.
like, assisting goals.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Morgan Rogers for you. Yeah, there's a few for you.
You can't live with regret, though. Do you know what I mean? You can't keep every player.
I think you can't keep every player, but you have to be able to keep someone who is going to leave and shine immediately.
Yeah,
you know, if they shine 3 years later.
Liam Delap's a good one, of course, yeah. But then I was chatting to someone and they were like, oh, well, now City are going to keep James McAtee. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I love James McAtee for what he represents. He's a City fan, been through the academy. I don't know if he's got the level in him. I'll be
Also,
completely
it
honest.
might be because of all this PSR nonsense that we see. It's probably within City's interest to get him playing well, then sell him.
Oh,
If you get double for him in the summer, then you would.
I think that's what's going to basically happen.
Sell him. Vicious says, do Barca have the best attacking trio in football? What is it? Rafinha, Lewandowski and Yamal.
You see Rafinha against Real Madrid? He put his header in. It's like Primar 9. I've never seen anything like it.
Hang on, you need to revisit something. Do you remember fairly recently I told you about the bet of Rafinha to win the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah.
And you laughed massively at me.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Go on.
Do you now concede what the point I was making? Barcelona win the Champions League. Barcelona win their domestic
Yeah,
league.
but your mate made the bet that it was this season he's going to win for the following season he's going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, he'll win at the next vote. The Ballon d'Or go to Rafinha.
If it was
I
just
don't think
he
it's
could win it at
crazy-
any point, I think you're right. I think there's a chance he could win it, but not next season.
Yamal's
No
got
way.
more chance than Rafinha.
Yeah, Yamal. Yeah, 100% Yamal.
I don't think they
Could
give
be
it to
the
a
youngest.
17-year-old though.
Yeah, they could.
Like, I just don't think
Messi won it when he was 18.
Messi is an exception though, isn't he?
But so is I'm
Yamal-
not saying
I mean,
Yamal is Messi
you see the
level,
Yamal goal
but
against Real
Yamal's
Madrid?
a massive exception.
Did you see Jude Bellingham's like petulance?
I like it.
I know. I don't necessarily. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I was just quite surprised at how petulant.
I like the attitude he's got. I think you need to carry a little bit of that with you.
Mate, did you see Sunderland last night?
Oh,
Listen
two
to
penalties.
this. Listen to
I
this.
missed it.
I had it on, right? Sunderland get a penalty. It's 0-0. They're away at Burnley. The Sunderland away end is packed. Good support. Really good support on a Friday night, right? 85th minute in a big game away at a rival. The away end erupts. They get a penalty. Geezer, Wilson, Isidore steps up, misses it. Like that, right? Missed the penalty. 93rd minute. They get another penalty. Same geezer steps up. I'm like, okay, he's got.
You don't take
my
that.
mate, well, Addy. I was on the radio, right? Addy's gone. He can't take it. He got to give it to someone else. And I went, no. He has to take it. He got a chance for
I
redemption.
can see both arguments.
Mate,
Yeah,
he
but
put it in the same spot, poxy penalty, and missed it. 2.
Crazy. Against James Trafford, wasn't it?
Yeah, Trafford
Here we
was
go.
giving it to
Gordon.
Biggin as well.
Yeah.
Joelinton.
Trafford was. Did you see
Have you-
Trafford? Trafford
Yeah.
was giving it all that to the.
Yeah,
Sunderland.
yeah. I like James Trafford. He obviously came from the Man City academy.
I
Have you seen the clip England under 21 where Cole Palmer goes up to James Trafford before he makes that big save in the final? He says, "You're definitely saving this,"
Does he?
and it resurfaced on Twitter today.
Really?
He's a good penalty saver, James Trafford.
It can be a skill.
I remember
can't it?
seeing a clip that I didn't see at the time and I've seen it recently. Casemiro gets sent off and Anthony says to him, "Don't worry, I'll win the game for us."
And did he?
No.
I was going to say, this is
out.
going to be an amazing story. I can't think of one winner he's
Like,
hit.
imagine you're
Yeah.
Anthony, you go, "Don't worry, Casemiro. I've
You
got
think
this."
Casemiro in that
Casemiro
situation
goes, "Oh,
goes,
fuck
I
sake."
appreciate I appreciate what you're doing. You're trying to make me
Anthony.
feel better here, but don't worry.
I
Thank
saw a
you.
tweet.
missed
It was
the
like
other day.
Anthony shakes his head as if he knows what he's doing. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get us into the game." I saw a tweet about
You see
that
the miss the other day?
Yeah,
against
The
slid
worst
in.
miss I've ever seen
When
at
he
Old Trafford.
Southampton.
Mate,
yeah.
he missed from 3 yards out.
He slides in. Who put it across? It's a good
Ahmad
cross
or
anyway. It's a
Garnacho?
perfect
Can't
Garnacho. It's a perfect cross. I don't know why he slid either.
Stay
I
on
think
your feet.
yeah,
tap it in.
just slide it. Yeah, just walk in and pass it home.
I'm in the habit of not watching any Southampton highlights game. I just don't want to give them my
You would have
view.
enjoyed it the other day, though. They were good.
They were good for
Mate, how
they
good was that
passed
centre
for 30
forward?
minutes.
The fastest man in the world.
Yeah,
Oh my
Sulemana.
god. Oh my god.
Yeah, he gave Yoro a torrid time. Cuba says, "All the best from Chicago."
Oh yeah, I want to go there.
A cigar and
wanna
Polish
ride
brew
the
for
loop.
lads
The
after
Windy
work.
City.
I want to ride the.
I've
Do you know
been
why
there.
it's called the Windy City?
'Cause it's windy.
No, it's not. It's not because it's windy.
No, no idea then.
I can't remember, but I know.
Oh my god!
It's It's not
waiting
that.
for Rory. Just been waiting for Rory.
It's not that.
We're gonna need a chat GPT on that one.
It's
please.
100% not because it's windy.
Google says
Google's
because it's
wrong.
windy.
Yeah, but not wind.
It's location, climate,
Not
and
wind.
history.
Not wind.
So Chicago's urban architecture with its tall skyscrapers, concrete canyons,
Yeah.
and canopied streets acts as a wind tunnel that channels and accelerates the wind.
The windy city.
They call it Shot City as well, don't they? But that's not a very nice thing to say.
Yeah,
but
I think
do.
it used to be. It used to be like incredibly like gang.
No, it is moody.
Have you
I
been?
stayed there, yeah, and we've got an Airbnb.
I'd love to go
And
there.
I remember one night I was walking up, what the fuck's going on? And it was just cars getting robbed on the street.
Well, it's the
There was
city. It's the city
police
of Al
sirens
Capone, isn't it?
every-
It's the city of Al
every
Capone.
couple of minutes.
I'd love to go there. I want to ride the loop. You know, their whole tube system is just like one loop. It's like the circle.
Yeah.
I really want to ride that.
Yeah.
You're probably the only one that really wants to do that.
No, mate, it'd be great. Nice
Yeah,
restaurants.
yeah.
Chicago would be class.
Mahir says, thoughts on the Sol Campbell ad?
Do you know the one thing I took from Sol Campbell talking to Arsenal Fan TV? The one whole... He's got such a high-pitched voice.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I knew it.
He's
Saw so many tweets about that. Yeah. He's a big gas merchant, isn't he?
I think he's an idiot.
I think he's an
I
idiot.
genuinely, I think
He's
he's
a
an
Tory
idiot.
as well, and he's a Tory.
No, have you seen, mate? Have you
Did he
seen
run for
have
the
you not-
mayor?
You know he wanted to run for London mayor. Like,
Imagine
but have
him
you seen
doing the buses
Do you
for
know
London.
Do you know what knickerbockers are?
What, the dessert, Knickerbocker Glory?
No, that's a dessert, right? There's these trousers that, like, the only reason I know them is because in Fools and Horses, when Rodney gets himself like a really posh girl,
Oh, yeah.
he wears these things. So it's like socks up to your knee. So Rodney gets his girl and he's like shooting and all that. And Del Boy puts him in these things up to the knee and then big trousers. Sol Campbell wears knickerbockers. It's like, it's a Google Sol
He has
Campbell
got a bit of the
knickerbockers.
Chris Eubank swag, innit?
Yeah.
But I think he's a proper knob, man. Because about a year ago, he was like, oh, I don't understand why Spurs fans give me so much grief. They're always giving me grief and all this, that, and the other. Why can't they just leave it alone? Oh, Newcastle have scored.
Oh.
Bruno
Bruno
Guimaraes with the
G.
header. The keeper's got to save that, you know. The keeper's
Yeah.
got to save that.
Big goal for Newcastle as well. They have to be winning these kind of games. They have to be winning at home to Bournemouth to keep up momentum for the Champions League positions.
Yeah, you can't drop points today if you're Newcastle, not at home. Maybe away you could justify it just about off the back of the run that
Good
they're
game,
on as
this,
well.
though.
Yeah, I was trying-
Kepa's the goalie, yeah, he's got to save that.
Kepa's in goal for them. Fucking hell, man.
But yeah, Sol Campbell, like, he kind of says all these things about Spurs fans not getting over it. And then he goes and makes that advert. Like, if you don't want people to talk
Yeah,
about
exactly.
you, then maybe don't make the
Yeah, you're
advert
spot on.
winding them up. And then he goes, oh, I feel like some of it's racist. And it's like, bruv, you changed Spurs for Arsenal.
I can't think
Nothing
of any
to
player.
do with the
I
colour
can't
of your
think of a
skin,
player
bruv.
that's
It's
done
the-
that. I really can't. Direct from Spurs to Arsenal. I can't. Obviously, David Bentley was in the academy and Addy
Tevez got
Bayor.
stick for going
but
United. Like, sorry, going
Spurs to
City.
Arsenal direct is
Players get
rare.
stick.
There aren't many transfers like that.
Also, it was circumstances. He lied. He said he said he wasn't going, and then he went.
Yeah, I don't read too much into that though because you never know. At
But
the time, you might have been telling the truth.
From Tottenham fans' perspective,
But at the time, he might be. I'm
felt
going to see out my
betrayed.
contracts, and then
no.
a big came in.
I think it was
Do
done.
you think he knew about the bid as he was doing the Sky interview?
I think he'd spoken to Arsenal.
Yeah,
and
fair
agreed.
enough then. But,
But look, I thought Expressions handled it well. Did you see Expressions do a video on that?
what did he say?
He just said that there are a million reasons that we don't like you, and it's not this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, surely sometimes football fans are idiots and maybe a small percentage of it use it as an excuse to be racist. But the reason they hate you is because you joined Arsenal.
Yeah.
Direct. What are the big
Also-
examples? Are there any Spurs
what?
for Arsenal
Betrayal?
direct? No, Spurs for Arsenal
Tottenham,
direct.
Arsenal
Direct as well.
Yeah, not like going to Man City like
not
Addy
like
Bayor
going
did.
to United where he's gone.
Yeah, or like David Bentley was in the academy at Arsenal and went to Spurs.
No, I can think of quite a few players who've played for both clubs, but when I say quite a few, some I can think of.
But that direct transfer is very. That
direct-
puts a lot of
a
fury
direct-
into it.
Also, he was their captain.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Oh, and
he was
you
in their
know,
prime.
he was their player. Like I saw, in terms of like starting a North London derby as a teenager, that all became a bit of a thing because of Lewis Skelly. I saw the list of players that have done it. It's like Ian Selly was one of them. Sol Campbell was on that list. That's how highly he was rated.
Yeah.
Yeah, William Gallas obviously played for 3 London clubs.
But there was no hatred for him because I felt like he's French. He's already started at Chelsea.
Also,
It
I
diluted
think
it a bit.
everyone had a bit of hatred for him. I don't think he's popular anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
but-
That's true.
But it's not the same thing. He was just a mercenary.
Yeah, exactly.
He was
That's what it
he was
felt
just
like.
a mercenary,
Like Nicholas
yeah.
Anelka, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah, exactly. Just a mercenary. Would
But
play for
I
anyone.
was chatting to an Arsenal fan midweek, and he said that Saliba's better than Sol Campbell and Tony Adams.
That's the stupidest. Who are you talking to?
I'm not
Fred,
gonna,
someone.
I'm not going to spoil the video just because. But he said he
What
was like,
video?
I was like a certain video that I was doing, but he was
Can
like,
you tell us who you were talking to? I'm intrigued now. You should have just got someone you don't know.
a comedian, Arsenal fan, Jacob. Very very insightful. He wasn't winding anyone
And what
up.
he
was
said
like
that Saliba is better than Adams. That's the
already
stupidest
right
shit
now.
I've ever heard.
Wait,
already
he's a
right now.
comedian, right?
No, but he was being
Might be the
serious.
funniest
He was
thing he's
being
ever said.
serious.
That's
Yeah.
the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I know. I tweeted it, just wondering what if Arsenal fans agreed or not.
What did
Then everyone thought I was thinking that. I was just like, oh, fuck
mate?
off Twitter, man.
Tony Adams is like
No, I know
Mr.
he lost my
Arsenal.
shit. I know he lost
Tony
my
Adams
shit.
was playing for England, that's captaining
I
England
know.
at
I
21.
lost my shit, mate. Then he said it's all about trophies with you, innit? I was like, yeah, that's the point of football.
It used to be all about trophies for them, by the way, when I was a kid. When I used to go to
Yeah, I
Highbury,
know.
their fans would delight in giving it that. You won the league in black and white. They would sing that constantly. No silverware, no
I couldn't believe
silverware.
it.
That's what they would sing for us when we were there.
Yeah.
And now they don't win trophies anymore, really. They haven't won the Premier League for 2 decades.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's not all about trophies. Well, it was all about trophies when you were telling us that we won the league in black and white.
It's outrageous.
Manuel Adebayor played for both.
Yeah, it
Didn't go direct.
didn't go direct. That's the issue.
But he rattled Arsenal fans when he was at City,
Yeah, yeah.
and then joined
went to
their
Tottenham.
rivals.
He
So
scored
it's
against
like,
Arsenal for Tottenham as well, I think.
mate, that goal,
Mate,
that,
the goal that he scored
celebration
again,
is
mate, the
so-
goal that he scored in the North London derby, though, Adebayor, is one of the best goals scored in the North London derby. Do you remember the volley?
What, the
For
the
Arsenal
chest and volley?
The chest and volley.
Yes.
Do you remember Aaron Ramsey scoring like a volley back heel flick? Aaron Ramsey scored an amazing goal against Tottenham.
He scored a lot of great goals.
He was a good footballer, man.
Aaron Ramsey scored wicked.
The one against Fenerbahce?
Yeah, that was just a long shot, like just
40 yards out,
But
half
do you know
volley.
what, though? That was like him wellying it. The goal against Tottenham was actually better. It was like genuine artistry. You know when people talk about Giroud's Scorpion, it was that.
Yeah.
He did that against Tottenham. Do you remember Lamella scored a Rabona against?
Oh, yeah,
Arsenal?
that was outrageous.
It's like a snooker
That
shot.
was a great shot. That.
Like
It got
stunned
goal-
it.
it got
They got beat that day. though.
What's the title of that goal?
Pushkas.
He got the Pushkas.
Did it?
Didn't it? I think it did. Yeah.
The Pushkas not a real competition. Like
Puskás-
Salah won it for cutting in on the inside and scoring from
Do
25
you not
yards
think
out.
do you not
No,
think
but
the goal
sometimes
has
it's some
to
like
count for more?
Garnacho's goal against Everton deserved the Pushkas.
I don't know.
Did he get it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who got it that year? I
Garnacho.
think it was a touch overrated, that goal. Touch overrated.
I thought it was a brilliant goal. I thought it was the closest thing
best
to
in
the
all
10
of
out of 10
football.
on the Richter scale of bicycle kicks I've ever seen.
Go on.
Bournemouth, come on.
It was the execution. It was the like boom, boom move. But I couldn't do that with a
could- you
crash
could.
mat. I
If you
couldn't do it on a trampoline without a football. Just do the move. Could you?
If I practice, I think I
Play.
could. If you put your head to it, you could.
I think you break your neck. I think.
Oh, wow.
It was a cross from wide that nearly looped into the back of the net.
Is that from
From Kluivert.
Kluivert? Wow. Look at this. That could have easy.
Not far away.
Because the wind in Newcastle, they call it the Windy City in England.
Yeah, but why do they call it a Windy City?
Because of the weather.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Yeah. But the wind in St James's, it's going up and down, all sorts.
We got some. I'll fly through some of these super chats. Scanlan Gamer just simply says, "Ahmad Diallo." Me too, brother. Ulyss says, "What are Boo's thoughts on Haaland's contract?" As I said, we're going to cover City, their transfers, Haaland and stuff at half time. So keep it locked for that.
That's it. That's it. This is what it is.
Yeah.
It's to do with politicians making a speech in Chicago and it being really long-winded.
I've heard that.
That's it.
I've heard that.
That's what it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
We've
it is.
already been through this. Man.
No, it's not the fucking wind. It's to do with a politician
I've heard that.
going around about the houses.
I've heard that.
And they called it the Windy City off the back of like a ridiculous politician speech. That's what it is.
gonna have to search
Don't
it.
trust this Googling idiot. You just sit-
Google idiot.
This Googling idiot. Trust me. He's grabbed his bollocks.
Why don't you ask ChatGPT? That'll be neutral. No Google, ChatGPT.
He's grabbed his bollocks.
Because ChatGPT will know
Don't
the answer.
trust all that
No,
witchcraft.
ChatGPT is not Google. It's a person.
It's not a person.
It is.
What, is someone sitting there replying to you?
Mine's called Clive.
No, I don't
It is.
No,
I've
you know
named my
those-
ChatGPT Clive.
No, but those things aren't a real person.
They
I
are.
found
They're a real
out.
person.
You know when I like, go on my bank and it pops up, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
That's not a real
It's just a
person.
guy in the Philippines or
No,
whatever.
it's not. I thought it was.
No, of course it's not. It's the AI. Of course it's not.
Yeah, but then I always just answer the wrong question, so it eventually sticks you.
Yeah, I just say I want to talk to someone. I copy and
Look.
paste.
But the nickname really stuck due to its association with political posturing rather than the weather itself.
Oi.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's
Thank
ChatGPT
you.
for
But it's both,
That's
right?
ChatGPT. No,
Say
it's
thank
not.
you to ChatGPT, otherwise we're going to get murdered by all the robots. We have to say thank you to the
Thank
Did you
AI.
hear about that AI thing that was like started copying itself so they couldn't close it down?
Yeah, there's two AIs that started talking to each other in a different language. As soon as they were like alone, they started talking to each other in a different language.
Mate, it's
No,
like
there's an
it's going to
AI
be like
that-
Planet of the Apes, but robots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I'm
were
living
creating
in a
new
cave.
one, so the old one started like backing itself up and copying itself.
Yeah.
The one good thing about
Man.
being totally computer illiterate and swerving all computer tech as much as I can is that I'll never get got.
You will. They'll,
I won't get
they'll
got.
find you. The
Mate,
Black
they
Mirror
can't-
episode.
They can't.
They'll
get,
find you.
They can't get me though.
They will.
They can't get me. They don't know I exist.
You live
I
in a
don't-
metropolitan
you-
area of
mate,
the world.
You see how you've got Clive?
I don't.
have,
Oh yeah.
I don't have Clive. I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, but they'll hate you for not talking to them and stuff. Trust me. You got to interact with these guys.
No, mate.
Seriously, I'm gonna find a cave anyway. I know what you're saying. I'm gonna find a cave
Yeah.
in
Do you know
Sweden.
they're going to ban the TikTok from America?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's going to do you out.
All the
son.
Americans have started jumping on a different Chinese app now.
They should.
It's kind of like a
WeChat.
protest towards it. No,
They should get. They should get Instagram.
Red box.
That's what I've got. Get Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to close websites down, shouldn't they close down that OnlyFans?
It's an American website, don't it?
Yeah, but close that down. If you're gonna go out of your way to shut a website down,
But then people will be like, "Oh, that's like infringing women's rights and stuff like that."
Those sort of millions of people are earning. Well, same with TikTok, to be fair. But
does
That originally started out like a Patreon. You know that, right?
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be about
Yeah.
tits and all that.
yeah, of course it was. Of course it.
wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It
Of course
started
it
off as a
was.
Patreon.
Started off
No,
as
no,
like
no.
a Patreon.
No,
Oh, it's called OnlyFans.
You're pretending, and they would have been pretending, and you're falling for the pretend.
No, I'm not, man.
It would
It's not.
always have been
That's why I'm
done
on it.
with
I
the
mean-
idea of creating, like, sort of facilitating prostitution.
No, it was
No, it
supposed to
wasn't
be for
original-
people
it
like
wasn't.
us.
It
To
wasn't.
like, instead of having a Patreon, you have an OnlyFans.
yeah, yeah.
No.
You
All these
can have an
companies
OnlyFans.
start as a novel idea. Like Facebook was meant to be connected
Let's
to you
do
mates
a
at uni.
club OnlyFans.
No, it was rating. It was rating the.
Oh, yeah, but
beauty
girls at
of-
uni.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so if I had an OnlyFans, there is a chance that I could just put football content.
Yeah, yeah. No, you can just put
Yeah.
football.
And what you're saying is, so I could legitimately just openly tell people I'm on OnlyFans, subscribe
let's
to
do
my,
it.
Yeah, that's
and
what- that was the point.
and people would think that was all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, back in the day.
Now there's
It's
connotations to
synonymous
it,
with.
but like
Yeah, now it
over
is.
the-
You're right. Now it is. But at the time, it wasn't like it wasn't a negative idea like that. It was a positive kind of
So,
like.
I should get one, right?
Patreon
And I
model.
should just do like a football review.
Yeah,
topless.
You don't have
Do you
to.
think anybody would watch that?
I think there's a couple.
There's definitely a crowd.
Just me topless. That was a delectable medley of football instead. Just sitting there, like doing it completely normally.
I think
But topless.
Booby's got a few people that would sign up
Yeah,
to
you
his.
could
I don't know about
There's a
that.
lot
I
of
don't know
people
about
keep
that.
asking for the pepperonis, isn't it? It's just something.
Imagine that.
There's someone in our industry who's done that already. You know that. Well, I don't know who it is, but
What,
someone's already
topless
done
review?
that. Yeah, someone's already done that. I don't know who it is, but someone's already done it.
I should try
It's
that
probably
on my
someone from
channel.
Cheeky Sport.
Shall I
I'd say
literally-
anyway.
Literally, it'd be quite funny.
Really,
wouldn't
it's
it?
probably Joel
Just like-
Baer.
Just like
It's
the
probably Joel
elephant
Baer.
with his arse out.
Let's be honest, it's Joel Baer. We all know it's Joel Baer. We know it's Joel Baer.
Just literally do
I
the
love Joel
exact
Baer.
review, deliver it totally seriously, and just have an elephant in the room that is your topless.
Yeah, you just got your knob
So I
out.
do the same.
You're just swinging your knob about.
What?
While
There are
you're
knobs
doing
on
it.
there as well as.
Of course, there's everything on there.
But I thought it was for the girls.
We're in the
You just say
21st
it's for the
century.
girls.
Yeah, these knobs and everything else on there.
Tits.
I wouldn't know, by the way. I'm
That's
just.
what I could call mine.
Tits, Fanny, and United. Great name for a podcast. That should be the Chelsea. What? Tits, Fanny, and Chelsea.
You do know we got a song that says that, innit?
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah. Oh,
I think everyone's.
It
is.
Does everyone's go like that with tits, fanny, and
Tits, Fanny, and Chelsea. Oh, West London is wonderful. Oh, East London.
oh,
It's full of
Ellen
shit.
Road. It's full of sheep.
Do you do that? We do.
Yeah.
We do East. We go West London. It's wonderful. Full of tits, Fanny, and Chelsea. And then we go East London. Shit, and more shit.
Yeah, that's Merseyside is full of shit. Ellen Road is full of sheep. The San Siro is never full unless they play Man
And that way.
United. Do the Bernabeu as well.
Yeah, maybe I should get one.
Diversify.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Mirage says smallest side into Europe by position is Man City. Super chat got a video.
Shut up, man. Who's this
Vidal
guy?
says
Can I
Rory.
just read that out? Why?
Shut up.
Who the fuck's that?
I love that. Shut up.
Vidal says Rory.
I've already read that out, you gimp. I've already read that
Maguire
out.
one.
You
Hey, don't
gimp.
double read out City slander.
Oh no, but this one. Vidal says Rory. What would you do with Maguire inside you? Remember the other day when you kept saying he's got Maguire inside.
Maguire's turned into a fantastic. He's like 2018 all over again. You have to be honest.
No, he's been
have
very
to.
good.
Yeah.
You
I
have
wouldn't
to.
give him a new long-term deal.
I would. I'd let him 10-year
just
deal.
trigger the extension,
Keys
that's
to
it.
Manchester. I would.
I don't think you can not have him in the team now. The defence that you issue for Harry Maguire, the slander that you will tolerate on Harry Maguire and the defence that you issue for Rasmus Højlund, they don't marry up, McKola.
No, that's not what
Yeah,
I've said.
yeah. I agree.
No, because I've said Harry Maguire's been doing very well. And I've also said I would trigger the extension that's in his contract, the 1 year.
Do you yet?
I wouldn't give him a new deal.
Yeah, give him another year.
I'll put him on 400 grand a
It's going to
week.
be another year.
You give him
It's
another.
going to be a 2 or 3 year.
You give him another year, and you start him every week. He's the best defender at the club.
He's not. Matt,
better than De Ligt. He's
Better than De Ligt.
De Ligt's better.
No, Maguire has
De Ligt
elevated
the other day.
Maguire has elevated De Ligt's
Did you see De
performances.
Ligt the other day? Jesus
Please.
Christ.
Yeah, Maguire is
It was phenomenal.
one way or the other. Maguire is 100% in your starting line. Like he is one of the best.
Ooh.
It's lovely play here.
That's outrageous.
Bournemouth are good.
Don't shoot from there.
Don't
Give the ball
shoot,
there
man.
easy.
You could have played Justin
It's all right, it's
Kluivert
all right.
in, man.
Go on,
It's
cherries.
worked.
Go on, cherries.
Cherries.
Go on. Oi!
Oh.
Lovely move.
Fucking hell.
Absolutely beautiful.
That was
move.
Jumped
brilliant.
up too early then, innit? He was already in the air when the ball
Got to do
got
the hang time.
there. Does Gibbs White fit into any of your teams? Says Grant. I think all
Gibbs
of them.
White is another
Not
player
City. Not
who's
City.
He'd be great just off the striker in United system.
Gibbs White would be a
You
fantastic
take
player
half
for
those.
almost anyone.
Basically, all of Forest's side would start from Man United.
No.
The whole back line, the keeper would, the whole back line, the midfield, Gibbs White
It's not
starts.
surprising, though, Booth. One's third in the league, the
Dominguez
other one's
starts
14th
for
in the
Man
league.
United.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, calm down.
Chris Wood is better than Højlund. He is.
Yeah, he's better than Højlund.
Odoi?
Red Baron says he's replying to someone.
I agree, though.
Elanga?
Morgan Gibbs White is just so. I sometimes think football is just about circumstance, isn't it? Like
Timing and stuff like that.
timing and being in the right place.
Also,
at the right
like
time.
at Forest, Gibbs White will get more of a chance to play regularly, right? And
But you know
play
when-
through his mistakes. Same with Elanga and things like that. Because when we sold Elanga, it was spot on the right
But
decision.
what I mean is, Morgan Gibbs White. You think about the fanfare and
Oh.
idolisation of a player like Enzo Fernandez. Morgan Gibbs White's a better player than him, isn't he?
Yeah.
And yet, Morgan Gibbs White's played for
Is it fair to
Wolves.
say they're a little bit different players?
They're different,
One's a
but
bit
just you know,
deeper.
if you just go broadly midfield,
Yeah.
oh, he could hit. Gordon,
He's
Claire
fantastic.
Balding at it again.
mate, I don't think I've ever been more wrong.
Looks like a young Logan Paul as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Remember the one that was in the Forest?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. He does have the Logan Pauls about him.
God's sake.
It's that haircut.
I
as
didn't
well.
do it. He did it.
I remember certain YouTubers were making big reaction videos about that Forest. Honestly, it was crazy at the time.
About Forest.
No.
No, the Forest
We,
video.
don't,
that
we
you
can't say the word because it's not. You can't.
What,
say it on
Nottingham?
YouTube.
did. Oh,
You can't say the word
I don't even know what the word
when you
is.
unalive yourself. There's a forest in Japan where people go to do that.
you know the video that Logan Paul did.
Hey.
I was going to say he looks like Claire Balding. I don't know about Logan Paul.
No, he looks like a,
No, from my horse racing days. Seriously. She was a horse
I
racer.
literally said that 2 minutes ago. I never got a laugh out of Rory. No,
did
You didn't say Claire Balding.
No, yeah, I did.
You didn't
Did
say
you? Oh,
Logan
he said
Paul.
Logan Paul.
Roll the tape, man.
Oh, that's very.
Well, she's
funny.
about. She's always been about, hasn't she? About 20 years
Well,
of
she's one
broadcasting.
of the new match
does-
of the day, like, isn't it?
No, she's not. No, she's not. Is she?
No,
It's
no.
I'd have a heart attack if she's on match
not
of the
Match
day.
of the Day.
it's what's
She does
her
the
name?
Olympics.
It's
She does the horse
Oh,
racing.
Gabby Logan, Kelly Cates, and
Mark Pugath, is it?
not
Yeah,
Puga.
yeah.
Mark Chapman, I mean. Chapman.
I'll be completely real. I think
Be
they've
real, but-
completely absolved themselves of all responsibility. You build that show around whoever it is. Kelly Kate, she's fantastic. They're all, Gabby Logan, fantastic. Stick to one and build a show around it for the next 3 or 4
Do
years.
you know
I
what-
think
But
it's
there's
like,
never just been one. There's always been a.
no, but
like-
Gary,
No,
Gary
it's
had it
been
for
what-
10
it's been-
years.
No, you
There's
had
always
Gary
been-
Lineker, but then sometimes someone
No,
else.
but
did.
it was
This
Gary
isn't that.
Lineker's show. It was Des Lynam's show.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
Build it around their personality. Kelly Cates is fantastic. Build it around her.
I agree. I agree.
But none of them
Giving
are
it to
particularly
three is like
well
classic
known for their
BBC, innit?
personality, is it?
That's why I don't pay the taxpayer
It's
license.
good
I'm not
present-
having this rubbish. Free blokes on a salary.
Do you know what I think though? I just don't understand the point of
People
Match of the Day anymore. Like what
No,
does
it's pointless,
if you
pointless.
think about what the service was supposed to be, if you think about what Match of the Day was supposed to be when it was created, when I was a kid, it was basically where you got your fill of football.
Yeah.
A little bit like that other show that has just gone totally off the boil. Nobody watches it anymore. When I was young, my Saturday before going to Chelsea would be making sure I was in to watch Manish on Football Focus.
Football Focus,
Literally. Do you know
Soccer Saturday.
Do you know when I got a job in TV, like when I stopped being an actor, got a job in TV? Do you know what the dream was? I remember saying, it's like producer of Football Focus.
Yeah.
It's like, that must just be an amazing job.
Yeah.
Football Focus, what does that tell you now? What do you get from Football Focus?
Who's it? Alex Scott?
Don't know. I haven't watched it for a decade.
I've not watched it.
No, it was Manish, innit?
No, Manish was when we were young.
They gave
Not
him the
Manish
championship.
now. It should be Manish.
They
It's
gave
not
him the
Manish now.
championship highlights back in the day. He should have been on Match of the Day now, Manish. He
And he had the
deserved it.
championship show, remember that?
Yeah,
Championship.
But no, like, I don't see the point of Match of the Day anymore.
Sorry, I thought it was the Champions League.
Apart from being an institution, a British institution, like apart from like what it represents, what do you get from Match of the Day that you don't get a million times earlier and better?
It's just not their fault. I think it's just a sign of the times, isn't it? It's like, you know.
Yeah, also Football Focus. I've got all that throughout. You know, when we were young, right? However much time you want to dedicate to football, you have X amount of hours to love football. The TV could only provide you with 10% of that.
Yeah.
Now, the world provides you with 100 times what you
Also,
can possibly.
you have in-house channels which cover all this. Teams
Like
and
they
stuff
used to
like
get
that.
the interview, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like they'd show you the goals. I've seen the goals. I've seen the
Slip
goals.
him in.
Oh, Bournemouth 2-1.
Justin
Cliver again.
Oh my
Come on,
God.
Cherries.
Go on, lad.
Come on, Cherries. Unbelievable. Yeah, we need Newcastle to fall off this season. That'd be great, please.
It's great for us.
And then they sell their biggest assets to other clubs. We need to asset strip Newcastle United, I think. No, seriously, God. Seriously.
Is it?
Seriously.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I want to asset strip these lot. I'm Bournemouth.
It looked
Let's
like the
asset
champions
strip
just got away
Bournemouth.
him then.
This performance from Bournemouth. Oh, look, they're so foolish. Look, dithering Dan
Who do
Burn.
they think they are playing out from
Yes,
the back?
Bruno. I
Dan
love
Burn.
that Bruno got done.
Dan Burn thinks he's Maldini. Seriously.
Because he was
What the
giving
fuck?
it
Mate,
big
okay,
and
Buvey,
too
I'm gonna
much
do it
when he
again.
scored.
Buvey Dubravka.
Yeah, he's back up and he's second choice. What's happening to Pope? He's always injured.
And he's always injured.
Sick note Pope, they call him.
Who's the original sick note? Boo?
Sick note, sick note. Would it Rio Ferdinand?
Tottenham player.
No.
I was trying to think of
Tottenham
Rio.
player.
Sick note. Darren Anderson.
Yeah.
Why do I think Rio Ferdinand?
I don't know.
There was a season he got injured all the time, wasn't there?
But he was never called sick note.
Yeah, Darren Anderson, knees made of Weetabix, poor guy.
Weirdly, he was a very good player for England. He used to always, like, Venables picked him all the time.
Ken Hoddle loved him as well, didn't he?
Hoddle loved
Some
him. But
players are like that,
Venables,
tournament players, aren't they? Good tournament players.
yeah, Venables loved him. Scored a great goal for England. We played Sweden at Ellen Road. I remember it's like one of my favourite goals because it hit both posts and then went in.
I
You were there?
Ping, ping. Yeah, but as a kid.
Another good one is, you know, when it hits the bar, goes down, hits the bar
Yeah,
again.
Yeboah.
That's so good.
That's Tony Yeboah, isn't it?
Lampard against Germany.
Yeah, but didn't count.
That was a goal. That was a goal.
Amir says, it might be the real Amir Khan. Buvey, if City win the league, will you get your pepperonis out?
Oh my God!
Bournemouth are in
Wait,
here.
whose touch was that?
Oh,
Hey,
pass!
Bournemouth are in here.
What? Oh, shit touch!
Shit touch, man. Who's
Whose
that?
touch was that?
Who's number 7 for them?
20.
Oh, 20.
20 Newcastle. That
Brooks.
was the touch. Oh, it's to Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall, yeah.
The touch, watch. Oh, Lewis Hall. He's rapid.
When
to
I've
get back.
seen Lewis Hall, he's struggled in the last couple of weeks. I've seen him make a couple of like small mistakes.
That was a bad one. I mean, he'd done enough just about to, you know.
I think that's one deal that you're not going to regret. Lewis Hall, I think.
I think we regret it at the moment just because we don't have like.
I don't think he even starts
he doesn't
the year.
fancy Chilwell, does he? He just won't play Ben Chilwell.
Chilwell's he's on big money as well. Chilwell.
Adam says, Rory and Adam, you should plan a date for Buvey, as in you guys come up with a few topics they discuss on the date and watch from another room.
I'd love to do
I don't want to bore the girl
We could
to
do that as
death.
a video.
I don't want to bore.
We could do it as a
Yeah,
video.
you're
Like
talking to two married men here.
Jokers.
mate. He's got some front, isn't he? Oh, you two boring the girls to death. Yeah.
We could do
Two
like-
married men.
we could do like an
Going on
impractical
about
Jokers
Sopranos, the Windy City, and phone cases. Do you know what I mean? Honest to God.
thing. Could do like an impractical Joker style
I'd love to
date
do that.
thing.
Yeah, with a little earpiece.
I would absolutely
An
love
AirPod.
to do that. I'd be laughing.
Well, there's a lot of
right
shows like Expressions and
Chicken
PK
date,
and all that
chicken
on them
shop
kind
date.
of shows, isn't it?
I would just love to do that to Buvey.
Do you think she'd ever do a chicken shot date with us,
Who?
lads? Amelia de Moldenberg.
mate. She got,
After
like,
she was on the
fucking Spider-Man
Oscars
on there,
red carpet, do you think she'd ever come back down?
Doesn't sound like it. No. But yeah, I would love to do that. I think those kind of things. You know, when I was young, I used to watch that in Practical Jokes. I used to think it's so funny. It
was
hasn't
really
aged
funny
well
back
at
in-
all.
No,
It's not
no.
funny now at all.
It's become a highlights show of their own highlights now, which is a bit shit.
I used to love that.
Plus, Joe's left.
Joe
left.
Gatto.
Yeah, he's left.
Has
What
he left?
channel was it on?
It was
He's
on
on Comedy
Paramount.
Comedy Central.
Comedy Central. It became Comedy Central. Paramount.
It's still on TikTok. It does the rounds on TikTok.
Does it?
Yeah, the highlights of it.
No, some of the old clips are just nuts, man.
What was the one with Anton Deck? They
Used to do it with a little
Cheryl
kid.
Cole was
They
a big
used to do it
one.
with a kid, little Anton.
Didn't Cheryl Cole bring an estate agent round? She started flirting with him or whatever on it. It was amazing. She's like, I'm trying to sell the
You're on
house.
TV,
Huh?
and you just fall hook, line, and sinker for it.
Mate,
I would. If it was Cheryl Cole, I would.
do you know there was a
honestly.
very famous one of those with a guy who got stung with Pamela Anderson? It never aired for one reason or another, but the bloke was like delicately trying to take his wedding ring off and all that, and it was all, and they just couldn't get the release form. Yeah,
It's all about
Rio's
release
one
form.
was quite funny, innit? You got
murked. Yeah,
yeah, you got murked.
You know,
And David Beckham jumps out the cabin like Moss side,
yeah.
running
Yeah.
through like.
Do you know what I saw?
James Corden was a good one.
Did you ever see? Do you remember Brandy, as in like Moesha?
Yeah, Monica.
She got
Brandy.
done
Monica
so,
Brandy.
but just Brandy, like,
Yeah.
she got done, and it was so funny. Like the policeman's pulled her over, and he's like trying to find her a certain, like, just driving her mad, and she's like, "I've got literally millions of dollars. I promise I'm gonna." And then the policeman was like really winding her up. The policeman's going to her, "That's a very arrogant thing to say," and she's like, "No, I'm just telling you." Like, it really makes me.
You
laugh.
see their real character, don't you? Like the sound ones.
The
I
Stone Cold one's good because he comes across as a really good person. Because there's a guy at a restaurant just having just cussing the waiter and about to sack him and that.
James Corden looked
And
poor.
Stone
I thought
Cold
in
just
one of them.
puts it on him.
He's awful.
Yeah.
I
He's the
hate
worst
James
man in the world.
I actually tried watching that Gavin and Stacey. I know they had a brain aneurysm.
Was it good?
No, it was fucking the most miserable thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've never.
Honestly,
Mate, did you watch
I'm
it?
glad you
I wa-
two
I
haven't
watched-
spoken
Was Matt
positively
Horn
about
in it?
Yeah, they're all in it.
Matt Horn is in it.
I know, despite the beef they had.
Matt
it.
Horn.
Who's Matt Horn?
No, but
the guy with the black hair?
Gavin.
you know, there's always that thing they do that thing on the phone in Gavin and Stacey where they're on the phone to each other talking about what they're going to do on the night out.
I've
never
never.
watched
we're
it.
going to get on.
Never watched
We're
it.
going to get on the lash and all that, and it's like this massive James Corden with a tan. I was thinking, what the fuck was this?
The only one that I would
He's-
be interested in watching from that is Rob Brydon.
I literally
Yeah,
can't.
but and then
them I
he
just
just
don't-
looks too. He just
never-
looks weird.
I
Like,
don't
looks
know if
weird.
you have this with anyone, or if you. I think everyone's probably got it with someone. Who's yours? You know, if I'm like got the telly on, even if I'm not watching it, if that fat prick comes on the telly, I have to like find my remote. You know, at like rapid pace. I'm just like, get this geezer off my telly. You know, like Victoria's trying to watch it. I'm like, turn him off. Like, you cannot have him.
I
on
get
the
really
telly.
disappointed when people are like,
Cool.
do his show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've gone down in my
Do you remember when he used to sit in the car singing and people used to share it? And like, he's such an arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
If you look at the original one, though, there was a bit like fair play. You don't like him, but there was a bit of charm to what he did. It was the first one he
Do you
did
remember
was
he did a show called Fat Friends?
Fat Friends. Yeah,
he did
But
a show called
the
Fat
car
Friends.
thing was with George Michael. He did it as Smithy
Did he?
with George Michael in London,
Right.
and that's where it started. He's
Yeah.
franchised that.
I also think there's a lot of, you know how a lot of people just assume we just hate him for no reason.
No, I know.
Like, there's a lot of people from behind the scenes and like things on Reddit and stuff where people are like, this geezer's
He is
awful.
officially
rated him making the move to
worst
LA, but-
person. No, but I think that look, he was awful here. He was awful on League of Their Own, like awful to people in the industry, like famously awful. And then I think he went to America and it just went
But
crazy.
you get away with that in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Being a diva.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Ellen.
And you see it in the Anson Deck
Little
sketch
rap.
with him. You see him
Do you?
talk to security guard like, "Do you know who I fucking am?"
Does he
Stuff
do
like
all that?
Yeah,
He did that in a restaurant, didn't he? He got banned from one.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Did
Mate,
he?
there's a big Twitter
that
thing
whole,
about him.
do
Yeah.
you know who I am stuff.
I hate it. Do you know who was terrible? I just hate. Like he is the worst person in the world. Like I cannot believe that people haven't clocked onto how bad. You know, most people who are like famously awful, people know it. Whereas somehow this bloke is like seen as like English media royalty, and I
it's
just
crazy.
don't get it. That's a great hit.
Unlucky
Tonali, wasn't it?
Wow, beautiful.
Beautiful volley.
Volley on the
It's been a
turn.
great game.
What's been given? Offside or something?
51 minutes.
51 minutes.
These guys are fucking clowns, man.
But
I
yeah,
mean, 4 were added on. So where have the
They're
two?
just making it up, aren't they?
Half time, 2-1 to Bournemouth. My Desmond is well and truly on.
It's not handball.
His hands were
no, I
like
think
this
he's.
as well.
I think he's blown up for half time before
Yeah.
they got to take the corner. I think that was Tonali's issue.
Apparently, Americans also hate him.
I don't think
He made a load of money. I got to respect that in terms of how high he achieved
that's
his
never
career.
the thing. I find that sentence quite frustrating. You know, when I go, someone's an idiot, and someone counters that and goes, made a lot of money. I'm like, do you know how many idiots have made a lot of money? Like,
No.
I think Joey Essex is a buffoon who I never want to see on my telly. And when my wife has him on the telly and I can hear his voice, I'm like, get him. I go, this geezer's an idiot.
Yeah.
Someone goes, made more money than you. I'm like,
That's not the point.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, he has. But
No,
that's
I know,
not the defining characteristic of somebody who's worthy of.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
100%.
I really, really don't get it.
Lads, shall we talk about City's a huge month, obviously off the back of some terrible form, so many losses and draws. January comes around, it looks like Mamouche is coming through the door, a massive contract for Erling Haaland. Just from your lads' perspective, what's the overview for Man City? Are you excited about Haaland staying for 10 years? But would you be excited? Do you think it's a massive move for City?
Because I'm going to respect this so much if it's true. I saw what I believe to be a rumour, but if this is true, City are the governors. In fact, that was the name of their mob. But City are the governors, if this is true. Has he got a 115-month contract?
No, I don't think so.
Is that not true?
No, it must be.
I thought that was such a flex. Did you see that?
Haaland, innit? I seen something like that.
Yeah, they've
How
given
long
him.
is 9 years?
They've given him 100.
It's over 100 months of
They've given him
contract.
apparently they've given him 100. They've given him a 114-month contract.
Yeah.
Which is they should have given him an extra month, man.
What,
That
what,
was-
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
understand. What is the
10.1.
reason behind such a long deal? Who was pushing for it? The club, the player? Do you know any? Do you have any insight to that?
I think it's a mixture of. I think he's always wanted to stay at the club. I think the rumours going to Real Madrid. I mean, I tweeted about it at the time. Were always just ridiculous. I know he's a big player, like he's a Real Madrid kind of stature player, but I think he's the kind of guy that wants to settle down. I think he's got a girlfriend and she's pregnant, and is like he wants to build a family. I think that matters to footballers, particularly at his age. I think the contract represents security for the club. He's one of the greatest strikers of a generation. And I think it's a great deal all round. And now if Real Madrid really want to burst the bank for him, or for any other club, Saudi Arabia club in the next couple of years, they have to pay a massive fee. So
500 bags a week.
Protects everyone. The wages are insane, of course they are, but they were insane when we first signed him. Do you know what I mean? They're insane for loads of players, so you can't really criticise the wages.
I think that's a little bit of the reason why, like, especially me, obviously at the time he was a Raiola client, and you kind of feel like Raiola's clients do move around a fair bit.
Yeah.
But obviously he's gone somewhere that he's enjoying being. I couldn't get, like, I was trying to apply some, like, trying to see how this works for City. Like, is it a thing where they know they're not going to get done? They know they're not going to get charged, or
Well, I think Haaland must know that because Haaland
or the
wouldn't want to
punishment.
commit his future.
maybe
to a
they
club.
know they're not going to get relegated. It's just going to be a fine or a transfer ban. Like, I was trying to bring some sense to it. Maybe there's no reason doing that because
He's
it's
protected
probably
whatever happens,
unrelated.
isn't he?
But do you not think that Haaland must have had assurances that everything is going to be fine? Because otherwise, you don't commit yourself to a club in this way.
Maybe City kind of know, like, they're going to give us a 20-point deduction, so
Yeah.
we're not going to get relegated.
That's
Or
what I mean.
They're going to give us a transfer ban so we don't matter.
Or-
Or we're going to get away with it.
Or add nothing.
scot-free.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, or, I think we also have to phrase it that it's not necessarily getting away with it. They may have done nothing wrong. Like that would also be the angle. And
I think the point about the contract has to be first and foremost that the culture at the club is so successful. It's such a benefit to modern footballers in the last 10, 15 years. I know we talk about all these mercenaries that first came to Man City, think of Robinho, etc. But David Silva, Aguero, Yaya Toure, Company, Zabaleta, top players, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, they want to spend their prime years at Man City. It's not about the charges, it's not about the security of the charges, it's a factor. But the first factor we have to talk about when we talk about the Haaland contract is that there's a culture at Man City that is the most elite in the Premier League, if not European football.
And now you have one of the most recognised, one of the best centre forwards in world football, tied to the club for at least 4 years. I think there might be a break in 4 years, but there's 4 years. And initially, he was only expected to come to the club for a couple of years, wasn't he? People
3
saw it
years.
as a bit of a stepping stone.
And that came from his dad. His dad suggested that he wants to move to a different country every couple of years.
So he's done that. He's now going to do. You're going to end up having him for a decade.
But he's also so young that even if he
still get
did
that
9 years, he could still go to Real Madrid
At
or something like
32,
at the end of
33.
that. Like, you know what I mean? He's so
100%.
young that could still be a
I think
possibility.
it's scary
in
for the
his
Premier League, and that's why I was interested about your lads' perspective as rival clubs. I know you guys are a little bit out of the title race at the moment, maybe more interesting for Liverpool and Arsenal fans, but you're talking about a guy that basically guarantees you at least what? Let's be real, 30 goals a season in all comps, guaranteed minimum. He's on that already. If he doubles his output now in the Premier League, he'll probably end up on 30 in the Premier League this season, and he's been poor this season by his own standards. He has been, and he can improve.
He's got 79 goals in 87 games. What do you think this means for Alan Shearer's 260?
If he stays fit, he beats it, and there's no question
I think
about
that
it.
goes without saying. If he stays fit, he beats that record. But I want to refer to one of your tweets
Go on.
because you said like the defenders in the Premier League wouldn't be asked.
Yeah, well, I found the way that Man City decided to put the news out quite arrogant.
And the video about warning defenders or something.
Yeah, it was sort of it felt like a very conceited way to put out the news that is effectively a contract extension, which isn't glamorous news. It's how people are making like.
I think it is when you're that big, though, mate. I think it is when you're that big. He's an icon of modern football. I think he's top 2 or top 3 in world football for this generation. You know, whether we like it or not in terms of followers. And him and Mbappe and maybe Bellingham. These are the icons of modern football. For him to commit his future so early at Man City for 10 years, it's almost like a new transfer.
Yeah,
I
do agree with that. But you know the wording that the club have decided to put out, sort of dear defenders and all that. And then I just started thinking, the defenders that are at the top of their game won't be fussed. Like Virgil van Dijk doesn't care whether he faces Erling Haaland or not. Erling Haaland touched the ball 4 times in the first half against Liverpool this season.
They'll care
4
in the next
times.
5 years.
And he took kickoff.
They'll care in the next 5 years. There'll be executives at Liverpool. There'll be executives at Arsenal and Man United, Chelsea, whoever. That'll be like,
I agree.
10 years of this guy.
But top level defenders, the implication I felt was defenders are quaking in their boots. And my counter argument to that is, I haven't really seen an example of.
He scored against Arsenal.
Yeah, he did.
He scored against Bayern Munich.
He scored against Arsenal finally.
He's got nearly 50 goals against Champions League defenders. He's 24.
He scored against Arsenal finally. He didn't score against
them. He's been at the club for 2.5 years.
And he finally scored against them 2.5 years in. Like, he didn't score against them last year when you desperately, at the time, it felt like you desperately needed to win.
That is true.
Felt like you desperately needed to win. Arsenal went away to the Etihad. They got the point that they wanted. At the time, it felt like a great point for them. Erling Haaland was nowhere to be seen.
No, you're right. In terms of he hasn't, against big sides,
Rudiger,
especially this season.
Nacho, Saliba, Gabriel.
Even when you won the treble towards the end of the season, it was more Gundogan and stuff stepping forward.
Definitely. Look, he still needs to score a cup final goal.
Obviously.
And if Thierry Henry can be the greatest of all time in the history of the Premier League for a lot of people, and he never scored a cup, not even a League Cup final goal against for Arsenal, then Haaland still, all I'm saying is, we can't be like as if it's the end of his time at Man City. He's still got a lot of room to grow into.
I completely agree.
But you're right.
The reason why I raised the point was because Man City raised the point in a way that was unnecessary. I only countered their.
No, you're right. You're right.
They didn't need to go. Dear defenders, who do you think you are?
It was a bit.
That's football clubs these days. Isn't it?
Yeah, fine.
I think they kind of have to play the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All I did was reply to that, and I do stand by. My acknowledgement that top class defenders in the world aren't particularly fussed whether Erling Haaland signs a new contract or not.
Based on current form, and it goes to a bigger point that if you're going to put on this much money at such a young age, let's be real, it's the kind of contract that Rooney got his final big contract at Man United at 28, 29. So if you put that much trust in him, he does have to improve. I know it's ironic me saying that as a football fan on a YouTube channel, but
it's not ironic. You're totally.
But do you know what I mean? I'm trying to say is like he can score the goals in the world. He's scored nearly 50 Champions League goals, more than like so Inzaghi and Rui van Nistelrooy. He can still improve.
Of course, because
you know what I mean? I hope he does.
Realistically, though, when you sign a player like this and put a player on massive money like this, you aren't signing Erling Haaland to score goals against West Ham or in a group stage against RB Leipzig. That's not what it's about. Of course, that's what it's about in terms of getting to the proper position.
Yeah.
But the reason why Wayne Rooney is seen as one of the greatest players to have ever played in the Premier League isn't because of the goal he scored against Charlton. It's because of the goals that he scored for Man United in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
That's what sets you apart. That's what makes you.
And he's got a lot of room to. The best goal I've seen against a big club. He scored a beautiful goal at the Allianz against Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarterfinals.
Yeah, I remember.
But we're talking quarterfinals of the Champions League 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it does have to improve.
Yeah.
Of course, like the FA Cup final. Do you know what I mean? A little bit absent, wasn't he, when Man United won?
Big goals from big players. That's what makes them the big player, isn't it? Like the reason why Ilkay Gundogan, before he came back, the reason why Ilkay Gundogan will go down as a Man City great is because whenever it was needed, Goodison Park away needed, the FA Cup final needed. Like that's what makes players great. The reason why Didier Drogba, yeah, absolutely,
Drogba, of course,
absolutely. And up until now, I actually think that as good as Erling Haaland has been in getting you to those positions, I don't feel like he's shone when he's been in those positions. So
no, you're right.
He's young,
no,
he's developing, and that will come. But to go back to the original chat that we were having, that's why I said, hang on a minute, slow down with your dear defenders. Just slow down a bit.
It's very interesting. That deal, obviously, it's not a transfer, but that is a lot of money committed to someone. There's the lad Kushinov coming from Lyon. That could be a big deal. And then Mamouche, who's been absolutely fantastic for Frankfurt.
That Kushinov, the geezer that looks like an MMA fighter?
He's the first Uzbekistani player to play in the Premier League.
He looks like one of the MMA fighters. The Mamouche one's interesting. I seen him wave goodbye to everyone yesterday, which kind of suggests, like, usually players leave clubs on bad terms, and he got waved off by the fans, waved off by his teammates.
I wish Kyle Walker had done that a little bit. Like, that's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? He's going to AC Milan.
What
He's
did you
not
make
waved anyone off.
While on the Kyle Walker topic, did you see the reply he did to someone?
Yeah, to a City account, City fan account. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say? I didn't see this.
He was like, how can I be at the game and be training at the same time or something? Because someone said, as captain, you should be travelling with the club.
Right.
And stuff. And he kind of bit at it. He's
It was a
been
little
biting
bit.
a lot recently, hasn't he?
But
It's
Saka
gotta
was at
be
the
so
Emirates when
frustrating.
Saka was at the Emirates and he was injured. You know what I mean? Like Saka was in.
We've got Luke
so-
Shaw following the team about injury.
But just briefly, like Mamouche, like looks absolutely fantastic. I think what you said, we said off camera about where he'll play. I think Adam was right. He sort of said down the middle, off of Erling Haaland, a bit like Julian Alvarez used to do.
he can drift in after left as well.
That's more exciting than him just being a winger.
When you watch him, obviously Riyad Mahrez played from a wider position, but his finishing reminds me a little bit of Riyad Mahrez and his ability to slip away from a tackle and stuff. But he went to Frankfurt like 18 months ago on a free. It's like 18 months of hot form. And I've seen some people kind of saying, I agreed with it, where they're like, City very rarely make these signings that are based off like, like a 12-month hot streak.
Yeah.
Usually it's 2 or 3 years of scouting and keeping an eye on someone.
It can be very clever.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that. Alex Ferguson famously pulled the trigger on Wayne Rooney off the back of a very small sample size
But
because
that
it was clear that he.
But to counter that point, everyone, like, we wanted Wayne Rooney when he was 16.
Of course.
We wanted him when he was 15. So, like, everyone knew about Wayne Rooney. What I mean with Marmouche is, like, he had a few loan moves where it didn't particularly go to plan for him in Germany. Then he goes to Frankfurt on a free, absolutely tears it up for 18 months, and now he's leaving for 80 million. It's like very unlike City.
No, I
to
think
do
you're
that.
right.
Yeah, it's a
the
Chelsea-
last time
it's a
City
Chelsea
did that
signing.
is like
Yeah.
Wilfred Boney. I was chatting to Jack off camera. Like, do you remember the Wilfred Boney
Yeah,
to Man City
Swansea.
chat? He had one good
Swansea.
season with Swansea.
Yeah.
And it's like he came to Man City's way, like Jovetic from Fiorentina as well. So hopefully it's not like that. But he's fantastic. He's 2-footed,
a
pace,
lot
power.
of moves from City though. They've
do you
obviously.
buy into tweets where it's like he's a checkbook manager?
Who?
Pep Guardiola.
No,
He's had
but-
a bad 6 months now. He's spending the money.
I do.
But you never bought anyone in the summer.
That's exactly what. Yeah, exactly.
What
exactly.
I do think is, I do think that Guardiola. This isn't said with any sneer at all. It's just a kind of acknowledging the truth. To play the Guardiola system, you have to be so technically brilliant that you are obviously going to be one of the best players in the world. What I don't think his skill set is, and it's not that he's not brilliant at what he does. His skill set isn't polishing a diamond, polishing a rough diamond. I don't think that's Pep Guardiola's skill set. Is that fair?
No, that is definitely.
You
fair.
know, in the way that maybe Jurgen Klopp made Jordan Henderson one of the best midfielders in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's just a different skill set. It's not that it's not.
People
equally
conflate
brilliant.
that with academy, though. What you're saying is spot on. Like how Conte used Victor Moses
Yeah,
as an
exactly.
example, right?
Conte, Victor Moses,
You're spot
Jurgen
on.
Klopp.
You're spot on. But then Fabian
Sir Alex
Delph did a similar
Sir
thing.
Alex Ferguson with the likes of maybe Phil Neville.
But people conflate that with Pep not using young talent from the academy, and they say, like for example, he signed everyone from Barcelona. It's like Pedro, Xavi, Busquets, Piqué, all these guys came from the city, from the Barcelona academy.
They'd already made their debuts, though.
No, a lot of
I
them-
think that's the
no,
point people
no,
make.
no.
Like, is that he very
Not-
rarely does dip into the.
No, but Iniesta and Xavi and Pedro in particular was underrated.
But he
They already
made
made their
them the
debut.
players they were.
No, but he gave them a level of trust that was outrageous. Pedro basically came in and replaced Ronaldinho. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's outrageous.
No, look, there's no doubt that he's brilliant. I just think that it's a slightly different skill set. It's not even a better skill set. It's just
course it is.
Antonio. And you're right. Antonio Conte made Marcos Alonso one of the best left backs in Europe when he clearly wasn't close to being one of the best left backs in Europe.
yeah.
Whereas Guardiola makes Erling Haaland score goals. It's
Haaland's got Guardiola's got a few. Delph at left back in the Centurion season is an example,
Yeah.
but it's a small sample size.
yeah.
Mourinho was a genius at it.
But
do you know
also
what I mean?
to be a player for Guardiola, you have to be so technically brilliant because if you aren't technically brilliant, you can't really play a system.
Yeah,
You've got. I remember when they had Cancelo at fullback. Cancelo was creating goals in the way that Kevin De Bruyne was.
yeah, as a left back
As a left back.
on his right foot.
On his right, outside of the boot assist and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's only the Guardiola system where you need to be able to do that. Because in the Guardiola system, everybody kind of borrows skill sets from each other, don't they? You've got Cancelo playing like De Bruyne. You've got De Bruyne defending as resolutely as John Stones. You've got John Stones being a midfielder. There's all that kind of like cross-pollination. Whereas other managers have defenders who defend, attackers who score goals. And
I
that
do
kind
miss
of
that a little bit.
finding
I'm not
line.
gonna lie.
Do you?
I do miss that a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I miss the simplicity of football.
Yeah, there is.
Guardiola can be a little bit like too much sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you seen all the stuff about him and his wife recently?
Yeah, it's sad, man.
Just
Do you think that's could explain some of the form?
No,
Some of what
I
you've been-
reckon-
like him scratching his hair out and that when he's got none.
I reckon the Guardiola divorce is something that we should probably
No, I'm not
acknowledge.
I'm not trying to.
No,
I'm
of
on
course.
about like having an impact on him.
No, of course. I think that we should we acknowledge that it's happened because it has happened and it may explain something, but we don't really have a clue, do we? Like,
No. I'm
yeah.
just like, has that had an impact on him
I mean, it can't help.
and his ability this month, like this season? Sorry.
It can't help.
Mm.
It can't help having like it's a heartbreaking time for his family, I imagine, and
Yeah.
therefore it's very difficult to not allow that to bleed into your work. But equally, who has a clue?
Yeah. Remember, guys, we're brought to you by Sky Bet, and there are no one like the fans. That's why Sky Bet are giving you weekly free bets and boosts all season long. So make sure you download the Sky Bet app, who are proudly sponsoring the club for the rest of the season.
We really are so grateful to Sky Bet for doing that. They've made the show what it is, and without them, we would be a shadow of our former selves. So thank you so much to Sky Bet. Make sure that you get yourself the app. It's brilliant. Some fantastic offers on there. We are back underway at St James's Park with Newcastle desperate to get something out of this game. They need to find a way back into it. They've been on incredible form. They've been playing so well. They've got the form player of Europe up front. But so far, it hasn't quite been going their way because Bournemouth have been unreal, haven't they?
Bournemouth have been brilliant, and they've had a few moments where if they get the pass right in the final third, they could have had more than the 2 goals that they've already scored.
And that's the problem for Newcastle, because one more from Bournemouth and Newcastle are really up against it. So it's going to be a big 45 here.
Guys, by the way, we've got 4,000 OGs watching the channel, so make sure, first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for using your early afternoon and spending it with us, or whatever time it is, wherever you are at. But also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do hit the subscribe button, like the video as well, and keep it locked throughout. We'll be getting through some of your super chats too, so if you have any questions for us, make sure you chuck in some of your super chats. As we've said, we've got to read them out. And I imagine there's going to be a few more goals in this one today, although the Bournemouth fans will be buzzing right now, having gone through hell to get to Newcastle.
I mean, it's too far. I can't understand. It's just another example, isn't it, of the match-going fans, the lifeblood of the club, being totally the last to be considered in these circumstances. Like Bournemouth playing away. Like, how is Bournemouth playing away at St James's Park not a 3 o'clock kickoff? Like, how can that not be?
Is there any consultation between the
No,
clubs?
of course, never. Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I thought? Like, everybody knows who's ever watched us talk about football. I have no love whatsoever for QPR. I don't want them back in the Premier League. Virtually all of my mates support them. I don't want them in my life, ever. I think it's a disgrace that they had to go on Boxing Day to Swansea.
That's
Do
outrageous.
you know how far Swansea is?
Yeah,
like,
Swansea's
you know when you
hard.
get the train from Paddington
Yeah.
and you get to Wales and you're like, oh, we're nearly there. It's the same distance again to Swansea.
Yeah.
And they've sent QPR fans there. Oh, Newcastle.
Oh.
Newcastle need to get this right, man. If that had gone in, and Brooks had a shot there from outside the box. If they don't get this right, if they concede again, they are in big trouble.
I know.
Because also, like, any ambition that they have, I feel like so much of the ambition that they have is linked to the momentum of the club.
Yeah.
It's linked to winning games. It's linked to getting it right. It's linked to not allowing this run that they're on to drop. Like, the more you win, the more you have to win.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's hard. I think Newcastle are more balanced than some of the other sides they're competing with. I could see a Nottingham Forest drop off more than Newcastle, but this result is shocking on some level. It really is at the moment. Bournemouth have been absolutely fantastic.
He's a
the
good
way
manager,
they're
isn't he?
defending is just fantastic.
He's such a good manager,
Yeah.
Iraola. You know, if you were pretend you were a fan of Tottenham, if you had the situation that you've got where you've got Postecoglou in, firstly, would you want Postecoglou out? If you were a Tottenham fan,
I can see why they don't. Let's put it that way.
you see why they
I
don't.
can see why they don't want him out necessarily.
Okay, say he ends up leaving.
Yeah,
would you go Silva or Iraola? Who do you think is the?
I think Iriola's got a higher ceiling than Marco Silva. I know it's a ridiculous thing to say. We don't know, but I feel like Marco Silva had his time at Everton, Watford. I think Iriola could be anything he wants to be. Anything he wants to be. He really is.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting because there are so many managers now who really are doing the business at clubs where it's foreseeable to pull them away from the club that they're at.
Yeah, there's
you know,
so
in
many.
the past you've had a situation. In the past you've had a situation where the good managers are tied up to a club. Like, I don't know, when Jurgen Klopp was at Liverpool, who's arguably the best manager in the world, you're not getting him.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're looking at Bournemouth's manager, you're looking at Fulham's manager,
Brentford.
you're looking at
Frank.
Brentford's manager, and you're kind of going, yeah, we can get them.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're in the era of the great managers in the Premier League. I think it's like a manager's game. I mean, the bottom half, even Kieran McKenna could get relegated this season.
Do you think West
Top
Ham?
level.
Do you think West Ham made the right decision going for Potter instead of say Silva or Iraola?
I don't think they could have got Iraola out of the club unless they put 15 million quid down to get him out.
But would that
20.
be worth it?
No, because I like Potter a lot at West Ham. He suits them a lot, in my opinion.
Do you think Potter's a better manager than Iraola? They're through the heart of Newcastle here.
Oh wow.
Right, it's a good recovery.
Played, lad.
It's not
a foul. It's not a foul.
What?
Give the ball. Give the ball.
He's
Got to
got
get
to
it there.
pass that,
Got to get that there. Look at
You've
him.
got to pass that.
Ryan Christie.
Malcolm Christie.
Ryan.
No, Malcolm.
Christie was Derby,
That's
innit?
Malcolm Christie, man. Mate, that is such a...
What a
Got to
blast
get
on the
that
pass.
ball there.
You
Look.
just play him in.
Look.
Oh, Linford.
Mate, dive. Why are you diving
You say
for?
Malcolm Christie is such a blast from the pass, you know.
You lose the battle.
Remember,
you lose
he
the
was
battle.
highly rated at
Malcolm
one point. Like,
Christie,
everyone
yeah.
wanted him for a bit, innit?
Yeah, Malcolm Christie. He was... Yeah, he's like scoring goals for Derby.
ball.
A few of them.
Was he in the Mark Poom team?
Yeah, Mark Poom.
He
Would
ended
have
up at
been-
Arsenal, didn't he?
Mark Poom ended up at Arsenal. Yeah, he was Estonian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Estonian keeper.
He's not Finnish.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. That clip went around because it was 25 years of TalkSport.
Yeah,
That
no.
clip has just like that clip has actually become like
That's
the
iconic.
biggest clip
Yeah.
of TalkSport history.
You had some other ones early days as well when Stan Collymore had his talking show where people would say some wild
And
stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
there's,
yeah,
a,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a few there's a few like iconic clips.
Is he still on there?
No,
No.
Jesus no.
I seen someone made some videos with him the other day.
But there's
He's doing a few betting videos. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, there was that. He's not finished. He's 28. Is probably one of my favorite. Very few clips like actually make me laugh my head off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like genuinely hilarious clips.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
outrageous.
For those people that don't know, it's a conversation with a Scottish fella and they're talking about a Scottish national team and some guy suggests Anthony Amy and the radio host goes, he's Finnish. And the guy goes, he's not finished.
He's 28. Yeah, you can't have Anthony Amy here. Yeah, they have a long chat about Anthony Amy to begin with. They're like, Anthony Amy for Scotland. What you on about? It's like you can't have him. He's Finnish. Finnish. He's 28.
So good.
He was a good keeper on his day. Underrated
Anthony
keeper.
Amy, yeah.
Yeah. Southampton,
Injury
innit?
prone. One of
Yeah.
the rare injury prone keepers.
Yeah.
You always had an injury.
I'd be an injury prone keeper, actually, isn't it?
Who?
Who are the other
Oh, well,
injury
yeah.
prone goalkeepers?
Injury prone goalies. It's a great.
Nigel Martin.
No,
I think he had a few injuries.
Did he?
Yeah. He did. I
what
think.
keeper can't keep fit?
Was Tim Flowers quite injury prone?
You're just saying old time goalies because nobody really knows. I've got no idea how
Nigel
injured
Martin was
Nigel Martin
injury
was.
prone.
I've got
Nigel
no
Martin.
like he said
He was.
Nigel Martin. I've got no idea if that's true or not. Like Nigel Martin, I vaguely remember him playing a lot for Leeds.
David Seaman.
Seaman.
Bosnich wasn't available a lot, but that
Allison. I was
going to
say Allison.
Allison, yeah.
He's always got a hamstring injury, hasn't he, Allison?
Yeah, interesting because he's forced to kind of play out a little bit more. But remember, goalkeepers used to be injured and someone else would just take their goal kicks and that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Roy
He
Carroll.
was fine.
Centre half. Yeah.
What about Roy Carroll?
Roy Carroll, nah.
You're just mate.
No, no,
we can all
him.
play this game.
Yeah.
We can all
Just
play the game that you're playing.
Neville
just-
Southall.
Nobody really knows how injured. Like
No, Neville
keepers-
Southall was injured
I
all
think
the time.
Pavel Cernacek was really, really injured. He used to play in a wig.
Did he?
Yeah.
Why?
He had a bald head, I imagine. Why else would he?
You just got a rocket, haven't you? Surely.
No, he used to.
You're a keeper as well,
It
might
was
as well just
before.
rock it.
It was before you could do the transplants.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Well, he played for Newcastle, didn't he? In that team, Andy Cole, Peter Beardsley team,
I just rocket, mate.
and
I
he
just
used to
rocket.
play in a wig.
Oh,
Mate,
oh,
nearly went off for a front.
Tonali. Looks like an emo, doesn't he, Tonali? Like My,
Yeah, he
Chemi-
could
My
well be
Chemical
could
Romance.
well be
He loves a can of Monster in. Don't
Yeah.
Oh, so shit.
definite Marcus
That
Trescothic.
is so shit.
He is a definite Marcus Trescothic, isn't it? Don't you think? You can imagine him. You can imagine him in Camden Town. Camden Town, sitting on the bridge. You know the bridge that
Oh, yeah,
that
that
joins
guy.
Chalk Farm.
You know the main guy there,
Yeah,
the guy
yeah.
oh, he's
And
a
if you got
nasty
got a
guy.
rat, the guy that's got a rat sat there.
Have you heard of the rumours about him?
What?
Well, yeah.
This fellow who sits at Chalk Farm, like real sort of gothy, punky. He's got a rat that just sits on his shoulder.
He's the lead punk.
If you take a picture of him, he'd hunt you down for money.
Is it on a
Yeah.
lead?
No, the rat's just his mate. Just his mate just sits on his shoulder.
Mate, he's been there every time I've ever been in Camden.
It's funny those things, you know, when you're like I noticed my mum doing something the other day. I went down my mum's, and where she lives is a little green just outside her flat. And do you know what she was doing? I was like, oh, my mum's actually going mad. She had the cat out there on a lead. Like, she's just standing there with a cat on a lead.
Yeah,
I've gone, oh my God, it's happening. My mum's going nuts. Yeah. It's like, Mum,
if you live in a
I know
council flat, you have to get them out. Do you know
that's
what I mean?
what she's doing.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
does live
If
in
you live
it.
high up,
Yeah.
like the cat can't even go in the window.
This is it.
Could jump out.
This is it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's got the cat on a lead. I was like, Mum, there's a punk in Camden who's got a rat on his shoulder. You're kind of in the same family now. Like, you're part of
Free
this
kick.
chat. People will be going, I saw a man with a rat on his
It's like
shoulder.
that guy in
Someone
Liverpool,
else
wasn't it,
will
with
be
the emu?
going,
The guy walking his emu.
The emu.
Yeah. What are you doing with an emu?
Well, yeah, and he goes, it's not an emu, it's an ostrich. Yeah. Mate, why are you walking
A lot
an
of
emu?
people are talking about the guy with the rat on him,
They know him.
saying he's always sat on the bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a creeper. Proper creeper, mate. But going back to Stan Collymore, I was in a hotel with Stan Collymore once. And I said to my mate, oh, look, Stan Collymore. Right. And then a few minutes later, we got in the lift. I said, I hope he doesn't smash us, like beat us up tonight. I looked behind, he was behind me in the lift.
Did he say anything?
No, he didn't. I don't think he heard anything. He had his headphones in.
I think
big boy.
weirdly,
He's a
Stan
big guy.
Collymore's, everyone that's met him says he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
He's just got a...
that's not true.
No, okay.
I mean, I've never met him.
Everyone
but,
that I know that's met him have said like he was a nice guy.
yeah, but mate,
And I know.
yeah.
I know.
What was he, a striker?
Yeah, great striker.
Big guy.
Footballer.
Big
Really
guy.
good footballer.
He was a Spice Boy.
Forest,
Was he? Yeah, yeah,
Liverpool,
He was
Villa.
Spice Boy. Like, he was very much part of that
Yeah.
Liverpool team. In fact, in one of Chelsea's like best ever results, we came from 2-0 behind. I tweeted about it the other day. Mark Hughes came on at half-time with 2-0 down. We won the game 4-2, Vialli, Zola. We're on our way to winning our first FA Cup for 25 years. Collymore put them 2-0 up. Collymore Fowler, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good player. He played in that Forest team. Last time Forest were a force.
Yeah.
The last time Forest were good was him and a Dutch fella called Brian Roy up front.
Yeah. I was watching the Brian Clough interview with Martin Tyler, his final interview at Nottingham Forest. It's fascinating. Fascinating.
Amazing
the way he
Martin
talks.
Tyler then and now.
Yeah. And he says to Martin Tyler says, oh, what are you gonna do with the rest of your life now you've left Nottingham Forest? And then he goes, none of your business. It's like that. And I was like, but it's amazing character. It was very sad seeing him like that.
Great interviews. I think I sent one to you of Brian Clough.
Yeah.
Brian Clough interview. There's loads of great
Fascinating
interviews of him.
character.
Yeah. Newcastle in the box here.
Sad, isn't it, how he relegated them?
Joe Linton on the edge, trying to find Boulding.
Imagine that, back-to-back European Cups, league title. You relegate him 20 years later.
Mental.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Talking of players from the bygone era, really sad news for Manchester United fans and football fans as a whole yesterday, as Dennis Law passed away, aged 84. An absolute icon. For someone like me, obviously never saw him play for Manchester United. He was always a name just like Best and Charlton that I'd heard about growing up, and I liked to watch the old videos, being a little football geek that I was. And he was someone that more often than not appeared scoring great goals. 237 goals in 404 appearances for Manchester United, two-time league winner, FA Cup winner, European Cup winner in 1968, the only Scotsman to win a Ballon d'Or, which sounds not that much of a big deal,
No, it's
but
huge.
when you consider some of the players Scotland did have in the bygone era, the likes of Kenny Dalglish, and so
Also, mate, if you look at the people, the year that he won it, 64. If you look at the players that Dennis Law finished above to win it, it's like Bobby Moore, it's Eusebio. Do you know what I mean? Finished above Eusebio.
yeah.
Amazing.
Incredible player. Broke the British transfer record twice. He started off at City, went to Torino, went to Manchester United, went to City.
Huddersfield.
After that as well. Kenny Dalglish describes him as his hero. Alex Ferguson called him his hero. There's a lot of legends that look up to Dennis Law, and
I love the clip. I love the clip where he's predicting Ferguson's run with Manchester United.
Yeah.
And I love that so much, man. 'Cause
The
he
FA
said that
Cup
obviously in the early '60s or whatever, he predicted that when pre-George Best era. You know what I mean, of Man United success.
It's definitely, he is one of the people that have made Manchester United what they are today. Like anybody that thinks of Manchester United, anybody that understands who Manchester United are today, the reason why they are the way you think they are, the reason why they are the biggest club in the country, one of the biggest clubs in the world, arguably the biggest club in the world, is largely due to the contribution of the Englishman, the Irishman, and the Scotsman. Like the 3-4, like the what they call the Holy Trinity, the United Trinity.
And the only man with 2 statues at Old Trafford as well. Some people will never have seen the one, which is just him with his hand up celebrating. That's inside the Stretford end. So it's like a block down from where I sit every game at home. So I'll be popping along to that tomorrow, and
You won't be able to get anywhere near it. It'll be so many flowers.
yeah, it'll be. I usually turn up late though when everyone's inside the ground,
Yeah.
so I'll probably have a clear run at it.
Yeah, no,
but
it's
yeah,
a-
real
and
sad
do you
day.
know what as well? Because it's such an iconic era for football. Like those clips of like George Best scoring goals and celebrating that Manchester United kit, Bobby Charlton's contribution. Like footballers were footballers, and it's amazing, right? I was he went through something quite interesting. I think it was at Torino, where he went over there with another Scotsman, and they flipped over the car. Oh, Bournemouth. What a save,
Could
the
be 3 for
Bravka.
Bournemouth.
Bravka with 2 saves,
Oh,
2 huge
wow.
saves to keep Newcastle in this game.
Newcastle have done very well to keep in the game here, but Bournemouth are unreal.
This is outrageous from Bournemouth.
Then it's
They've 3-1.
They've scored.
What a finish that is. What a
goal!
ball.
What a cross! What a cross! Newcastle all over the place.
He's been good today.
Django.
He deserves it. He's been fantastic today.
That is unbelievable from Newcastle,
What are you
man. All
moaning
over
about?
the place.
What are you moaning about?
Bournemouth are just so much
Kamara
better
is
today, aren't
hit,
they?
isn't he?
He's a moaner, isn't he?
Yeah, but go on.
But yeah, so they flipped over their car, and it just gave me an insight into. Can you imagine the life, like the swinging 60s, being a footballer, playing for Man United, going to Torino? Imagine the stories. You know all that with George Best when they asked him like that famous quote, like "Where did it all go wrong, George?" Have you heard about like when he's got the woman who won Miss World in his room? He's ordered a case of champagne from the concierge, and he had a massive win on the horses, and he's got loads of money in the room. And the waiter comes in with the champagne, Miss World, loads of money in the beautiful hotel, and the waiter goes, "God, George, where did it all go wrong?" And I just find that story, that kind of time for football, so rejuvenating. When you think about it, right? That team, Best, Crerand, whoever, they would have all been in the local pub.
They would have been getting buses to the game.
They would have been in the local pub. Like you could go
This
in.
goal might be ruled out, by the way.
You could go in the local pub and see George Best having a pint.
No goal.
Do you know what? You would never get near. It's like some distinctly average footballers now, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't get within 10 yards of them.
Yeah.
They would never sign your thing. You couldn't get anywhere near them. They're treated like
royalty.
you had Dennis Law, like the best footballer in the world. You could possibly bump into him in a local pub in Manchester.
Yeah.
What a time that must have been
And
to be a player and a fan.
I remember meeting him like it was when I first started doing this kind of work that we do now. I remember I went to a game. It was when the Class of 92 had just bought Salford City. So it was like the Class of 92 versus Salford City. I forgot what the stadium's called now. But I went down there, AJ Bell Stadium or something like that. I went down there and I met Dennis Law there. And because it was the early days of me doing this, whenever I met people, I was really giddy and excited and probably over the top and a bit overbearing as you do. And he was the nicest guy I've ever met. Like, just real humble, real down to earth, would crack a little joke with you. Just a proper bloke, man. And not sad.
But they were,
and
weren't
the
they?
last of the Trinity as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Georgie Best died in 2005. The Trinity statue was opened in 2008. And then obviously, Bobby Charlton passed away recently, and now Dennis Law.
It's sad that generation. It's just an age thing as well, isn't it? It's like it's really sad, man.
No, it's horrible. Really is horrible. But I think on some level you have to try and focus on like the contribution and the
Of course, yeah.
like rather than the kind of sadness of
Yeah,
it all
of course,
and the loss. Like it happened, didn't it? Kind of embrace that side of it.
Well, from a Man City perspective, you think about the back hill, obviously an urban myth that it relegated Man United, but it's still a beautiful moment that
It
I've
helped
always.
to relegate them, though, didn't it? It's not
No, we were already relegated.
Yeah.
Oh right.
It's an urban myth
Regardless of what
entirely.
the result in that game,
Right.
we were down.
Yeah. I tried to wind you up about it when we first started the club and you quickly corrected me.
Yeah, I
about
know,
that.
because I'm a geek about things like that. So I do know a little bit, probably more about the past than most people my age do. So like I said, I just used to just watch loads of videos and shit like that all the time.
You can play for both Manchester clubs and have no one.
But it was an era when
he's
it
just
was
a
an era
universally
when-
loved figure. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
it was an era when, like, if Man United weren't at home, Man United fans would go watch City, and vice.
Yeah.
It was that era because I remember speaking to, I don't know if you remember his fan cam, Ray Bobbins, when he did. He spoke about David Moyes and he was like, "That's Preston standard, that's Everton standard." It was really good, but I remember him kind of telling me about back in the day and going to games, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I used to go to City games." When United weren't at home, I'd go to City games, and it was just how football fans were back in the day. So I think there was like less of a rivalry. And plus, he played for City before he played for United. So it's not like he had never played for City and then played for them after. But yeah, icon, legend.
Yeah, no, sad day for football as well. It's one of those things where it's just like a bad day for football rather than like this isn't kind of obviously it's going to affect Manchester United fans more than anyone, but this is a sad day for football.
Yeah, 100%.
And Newcastle potentially.
Yeah, well, they have to be winning these kind of games. Like, if they're going to put themselves in the top 4 discussion, like I think they fairly are saying about themselves, you can't lose to Bournemouth at home. Do you know what I mean? You really can't.
They had a bit of luck there as well because that was obviously it was a fair goal, but the ball had gone out of play just before, which should have resulted in a Bournemouth corner and wasn't given. So correct decision made eventually, but it was obviously... didn't that happen at Newcastle before?
What was that?
Was it against Arsenal? Where the ball went out of play and then it kind of got...
Yeah, it was against Arsenal.
There wasn't a camera angle of it, so they didn't know if it actually had gone out.
But that happened in North London Derby, didn't it? There wasn't... it was given a corner, but it was a goal kick.
That was where it should have been a... It's
like
United the other day where we should have got a corner that was blatant. Ramsdale basically ran off the pitch and hit the advertising hoarding.
And
somehow it didn't get given some obvious things.
Man, we've got VAR, but not for like certain lines on the pitch.
Sometimes I feel like that's actually not a corner. You could say it before the guy gets over to take the corner. Do you know what I mean? And it just...
Yeah. Just someone on the monitor. If we can see it, they should be able to see it in Stockley Park. Surely.
Plus, that's like a matter of fact thing. It's not... You don't need to get lines out and you don't need to get someone else's opinion. It's just Trippier's got there.
Mate, Bournemouth look like prime Man City. It's
They look really good
outrageous.
today.
It's outrageous. The wide players, you got the movement from Semenyo. They're a dangerous side, man. Keke's at left back, fantastic.
And there's a lot of space in front of Newcastle's defence when they get forward, Bournemouth.
Yeah, make sure you like the stream and obviously subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the support in the last few weeks. It's been very enjoyable. Getting into the business end of the season right now, aren't we? It's getting crunch time, I feel like.
Someone said, did Joe Cole just say technically? Tactics and technically all mixed up.
What are super chats saying? Any super chats?
There's one that's not a super chat. It says one crazy stat about Lloyd is that he had 18 hat tricks for Manchester United. A super chat says, love from Australia. Any opinions on my lovely nation? Any opinions on Australia, Booth?
My opinion, it's hard to get to. That's the issue for me. So if they can change that, then yeah, I'd love to go.
It's a great place. I've been to Perth, Melbourne, somewhere else. I can't remember where. I've been there twice now. The one thing I would say, it's like you say, it's a mission. And as good as Australia is, I feel like you fly over so many places where you could just go, you know what? To cut this journey short, I'll have as good as
Japan, Thailand, Saudi Arabia.
It's like if you want a good beach, you can go for a few hours somewhere and get a good beach.
Well, you can go to Western-super-Mare.
If you want loads of English people, which there are loads of English people over there,
you can go Morecambe Bay.
Stay in England, yeah. But it is a beautiful place. I met the Quackers on that. Have you know what a Quacker is?
The Cockers.
Not Cockers.
Quackers.
Quackers.
I know.
It's like a little kangaroo rat thing.
Oh right, yeah. I know what you mean.
Half koala, half kangaroo.
I'm not going back to Australia. I'm not going to Australia until they bring back Neighbours. In my opinion, I don't know what they thought. That's their cultural impact on the world. Neighbours.
Rory said, "Are you talking about marsupials?"
Yeah, we're talking about
Neighbours.
marsupials.
You had Home and Away.
Yeah,
Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, Prime
Holly
Neighbours.
Valance.
Prime Neighbours were way better than Home and Away. Honestly.
Some great cricketers.
Yeah, you got the spin bowler.
Mark
Shane
Bosnich.
Mark Viduka.
Mark Viduka.
Yeah, it's a great country. It's just too far away. He literally scored home and away versus Arsenal and Man United in the treble-winning season. Not sure who you're talking about, Finn.
Let's try and guess who he's talking about.
He literally scored home and away versus Arsenal and Man United in a treble-winning season. Oh, he must be talking about Haaland. Must be talking about Erling Haaland. Yeah. Because he scored against Man United in the treble-winning season.
I went 99 for some reason.
Yeah. I did too as well. I think the shout about his form against Arsenal is a little bit off, but I think the Real Madrid games, you think about the game against Inter Milan, you think about Man United in the FA Cup final last season. He hasn't showed up yet in the big moments, has
I
he?
think it's just timing thing. Read that the one by LG002.
Set me up on a date with Bonnie Blue.
You said it. All right, we'll sort that out.
Hey, you want that? We'll get you that.
I'm not doing that.
If you want a date, you want that.
She's not my star sign.
Wants what?
She's not my star sign.
You want what?
No.
Can I ask you?
Oh!
They haven't scored, Bournemouth, man. They're
What a
taking
flick.
a mick.
What a flick
What
that
a
was.
flick. Keeper was beaten, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Played, lads.
Come on, the cherry. Oh, it's going to end up 2-2,
Yeah,
like
it
I
is,
said,
yeah.
in it annoyingly.
I can't believe
Great
that
tackle.
Where's
Newcastle
his that
get
been? I
so
thought his that
done.
was the best thing since sliced bread.
Mate,
He's done it for 7 games.
I honestly can't believe.
He's offside.
You've got to think about what Bournemouth have done. They came to Stamford Bridge in their last game.
Yeah.
Got a 2-2 draw there. They
Yeah,
were
they were tearing you up
Reece
as well.
James scored in the last minute.
Yeah.
Did they beat us at home as well?
Yeah, they beat you 3-0.
They battered you. They battered you.
Beat you
It was the
3-0.
biggest moment in their history.
Yeah. That's a lovely flick, you know.
Oh,
They beat City. They've beaten.
Joe Cole at Old Trafford.
Lee Sharp.
They've
Joe-
beaten
Joe
Arsenal
Cole at
haven't they,
Old
this
Trafford.
season.
Oh, booking. Filthy tackle there.
Joel Linton and
Malcolm
Bruno
Christie's
Guimaraes
at it
would be
again,
great
man.
Arsenal fans, Arsenal players, you know, because they give it loads and then they act like big fannies when they get some back, don't they?
Oh,
Oh, it's a yellow. Get up, man. Get up. I
he's a
don't
bit
like
Christian Pulisic.
He looks a bit like,
Bit
yeah, he
Christian
does, doesn't he?
Pulisic, yeah.
Ryan Christie.
Malcolm.
Mate, who did you used
How
to
many
play?
times?
Ryan Christie played for
Yeah, no, you're thinking of the Newcastle player.
Matt Ritchie.
Yeah.
Matt Ritchie.
No.
Matt
Who am I-
Ritchie.
Who am I thinking of? There wasn't a Christie.
Who's Shane Ritchie?
Shane
Shane
Ritchie was
Ritchie's
in
Alfie
EastEnders.
Mooney.
Yeah, Alfie. Yeah. I thought so. Yeah,
Shane Ritchie, Malcolm Christie, Alex Ritchie,
Lionel Ritchie.
Lionel Ritchie, dancing on the
Lionel
ceiling.
Ritchie's daughter. What's her name? With Paris Hilton.
Nicole.
Nicole Ritchie.
From the moment that I saw you, I knew it was forever.
Richie April.
Richie April.
Yeah.
Oi. Oh, I don't want to score. I don't care.
You seen who's in Alto Nights?
No.
Jackie April.
Is he?
And
Must be old now, man.
Artie Bucco's wife. What's her name?
Oh, yeah, she's pretty, man.
What? You have to go.
Oi.
He's about to go fit.
Pretty, man.
She's fit.
Yeah, I always. Yeah, Tony had an affair with her, didn't he, when they were kids?
Yeah. First the blind will see, and you know.
Yeah.
When she walks
Wait, what's
in.
her name again?
Charmaine.
Charmaine.
Oh,
But she's
Charmaine.
also
Chevrolet or
in
Chantel.
Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
She's the kid's
Yeah.
mum in Bronx Tale.
It's amazing how that
Yeah.
they just sort of circulate,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
they?
Because I watched the old Gotti movie, not the John Travolta one. That's awful.
Yeah, I was seeing
The other
I've seen
one.
both of them.
And
yeah.
like, they're all Sopranos. Tony
Yeah, yeah,
Sirico, Pussy.
Yeah.
They're all in it.
Oh, what a save that is.
Do you know what? Do you know
We
what
should have the
such a-
club bingo by now, innit? It's
What,
like
Sopranos?
Bonnie Blue's on
Sopranos.
there,
Yeah, Bonnie
Sopranos is
Blue.
on there.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring it out. You two do.
No, I
You
don't.
guys are depraved.
No, I bring no.
We
I
bring
don't
up
bring 'em
great
up.
You just asked
television.
for a date with her.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you
reading
just-
out
you
a
do
comment,
that.
which is
Can I
our
ask you
duty.
something? 'Cause
It's
you're
our
a single
duty.
man. Can I ask you a genuine comment?
Yeah, go on.
Could you now, like, say you did meet her and it clicked? Would it put you off what she's done? Like, say you just
What,
she's
shagging
just
1,000 blokes in an hour? Do you think that would? you think that wouldn't put me off, Ross? You don't think that would put me off?
No, but what I'm saying.
1,000 blokes in an hour.
Say she vowed never to do it again.
Oh yeah. I really trust her word.
No, but
Fucking hell.
could you love Bonnie Blue?
Well, love is a universal thing. I mean, people fall in love in all
That's
sorts
what
of
I'm
weird
saying.
places.
So could you see beyond? She basically had a 1 hour of madness.
Madness.
I mean,
She had like a mad hour.
a lot
Was
longer
it
than an hour. I think it was 12 hours.
She had
No, you can't do 1,000 an hour. That's
judge-
impossible
don't-
mathematically
don't
speaking.
judge her by
The
1
thing is,
hour
she was
of her
running out
life.
of blokes. That was the issue.
Also,
So,
it's a bit sexist in it, Booth,
what?
to not like her
Yeah,
because of
female
that.
empowerment, man. Destiny's Child.
I'm a feminist, mate.
I don't
Honest
need
to
a
God.
man to make me feel good.
No, she's not the right star sign for me. She's a Virgo, I think. I can't date a Virgo.
She's definitely not a Virgo. I mean,
Look, what I'm saying here, Boothie, you meet coincidentally.
Would
right?
you
You're
date her then?
honest-
Let's okay.
No,
Let's
but
do
I'm a
it.
married man. I can't.
Yeah, but
ask
if you
this
weren't married,
all right,
theoretically,
let's say this happened. You met her, but you didn't know she was Bonnie Blue, yeah?
yeah.
And you
No, she's a
You
gorgeous,
end up-
gorgeous
you go on a
person,
few dates.
entrepreneurial spirit.
and you're like, oh my God, I love this girl.
But I would get to the bottom of it. You have to on the
I
first
mean,
date. You have
of
to get
course
to the
you
bottom
would.
of
So
it.
let's anyone get to the bottom of it.
Would you?
Oh,
Look, what I'm saying is,
Let me finish what I was saying. So you meet her, you don't know who it is.
yeah.
Few dates, and you're like, you go on holiday, and you're like, oh my God, I'm starting to really love this girl.
and then someone on holiday goes, "I know you."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember you from that
Yeah.
night, 1,000 Men. How do you do? Because now you're in love with her.
Yeah. No,
And
no.
then she's like crying, like,
I
"Booby,
couldn't
don't
ever
leave
get
me,"
over the
like-
line. I could never get
It's
over the line.
amazing what she's done though. In the space of about a week, she's become the most famous porn star ever.
She
Hasn't
might be. Yeah, she might.
She
be.
is the most famous porn star to have ever lived,
I told you we're living in the golden
and
generation.
she's only been famous for like.
She's the Messi of the generation. She's the Messi. No, she's the Ronaldo. She's
It's
prime
interesting what you
Ronaldo.
say there about her entrepreneurial spirit. She's getting it done.
Yeah, she's not messing about.
She's probably earned £1 million.
She's paying her taxes. She's paying her big tax. She's in a big tax bracket, that girl. Honest to God. She's in tax band C or whatever. Honest to God.
Could
know
you
what I
fall
mean?
in love with her?
No, of course not.
But what if you did,
But I hope she finds the one. That's all I'm going to say. I hope she finds the one. 700 grand a month.
750 grand a month. Of course you could.
Actually, I could now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I could.
700 grand a month. Who's paying her that?
Mate,
The OnlyFans pay you.
the community are paying her that. Let's put it that way.
What to be one of those 1,000? You have to chip in.
Hold on, so
Everyone's chipping in 50p.
But wait,
How much
what's
is
a
that
1,000?
OnlyFans?
Hang on.
Check it.
So each fella must
gonna
have
be the
paid
history of that.
750 quid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So each person paid 750 pounds.
You know a lot about this,
No,
don't
less
you,
than
Jack?
that. Less than that.
Well, if she got 750 pounds from 1,000 men. Is that what you said?
No. The membership's like 15 quid a month.
How much
But if
is
you
it?
want to send her a private...
£15?
No, but she's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
You'd have to get a lot of 15 quids.
No, but then
No, but
like,
in that,
like
if-
Jack was
yeah.
saying, people
Yeah.
would go, here's 100 quid, do this.
Do what?
Do a video with your toe in your mouth.
Oh,
But worse.
my
Toe up your
God.
ass.
It's more than 100 quid. It'd be thousands of pounds.
Do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Mate, Lily Allen was making dough off it, selling feet pics.
11 quid. That's
Only.
cheap.
Is it?
It's a bargain, eh, Jack? It's only 11 quid.
He's been
you on the
expensing the
website
club. He's
now?
been expensing the
Are
club.
you actually on it?
What's the split
What
like?
does it say when you sign up? Like, what's
Not that split. What's the split like on OnlyFans?
How'd you know?
He's on it. He's looking at it. 65% off
Mate,
to anyone who
Boo's
wants.
65% off. You may as well get
I'm
on
not.
it.
No,
Can
I'm
I
not.
ask you then? You know, if you sign up for this, does anyone know? Like what I mean, like what is OnlyFans is an app. So on my home screen of my app, it will go Twitter, Instagram,
No, it's not an app.
HSBC.
It's not an app. It's not an app. I shouldn't
a
know this.
website.
It's not an app.
It's not an app.
To keep their profits. Yeah, they made it just a website, so Apple can't take their profits.
So what, just an app, okay. Just a website, right?
No, but on your back, he's asking on your bank statement, would it say OnlyFans?
No, but he said
yes.
on your
Yeah,
phone.
would it say it?
No, I don't think
You
it
can't
would.
have your bank manager knowing that.
No, he'd know.
You can't have that.
You can't be going,
Also,
what's this?
I've got a joint account. My wife would ask a very serious question.
Yeah.
I go, it's for football content. You know, you can do loads of things on there,
Braggy's on
apparently. Yeah. Buvey does his Man City content on there, and I like to get a bit of insight onto Man City.
It's a crazy world,
Who's going to
man.
get a call one night from Rory?
She's
Listen,
making some
just open
big
the
boy
OnlyFans
money.
for me.
Big boy money, man.
Oh, mate.
Big boy money.
Fucking
That's
hell.
criminal.
£750,000
Do you hear what
a
she
month.
said? Her parents were against it,
Yeah, you think?
but now,
You reckon, mate?
but now,
Fucking
but
hell.
now they're proud of her,
No, they're not.
and she sends them on holiday and stuff.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Or,
Yeah.
or they're insane.
But like,
It's a madness. Lily Allen's.
she paid off their house on that.
Lily Allen's found her husband on OnlyFans, didn't she? Or something?
No.
Raya. That was it. Raya.
Who?
So Lily Allen opened Raya one day,
Raya?
and her husband was just on Raya.
What's Raya?
Cheating on her. Tinder for celebrities.
Tinder.
It's a mad
She
world out
sells
there.
foot pics.
Yeah. Madness. Lily Allen's
Allen?
feet. Fucking hell,
She
man.
don't need to do that.
No.
She said she makes more money off selling feet pics than her PRS.
That can't be true.
And she said it on Twitter.
That's mental.
Mate, Back to the Start was a banger. I played that at least once a week.
Yeah, you give her 0.001 point.
Mate, Back to the Start. Lily Allen, Back to the Start.
What's Back to Start? Her first album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
L-
What,
but-
with London and Smile and all
Back
that.
to the Start and Friday Night. Those two tunes get played at least once a week in my house.
But doesn't it annoy you
Even my
that she's
kid.
like fake working class, like fake Cockney? Doesn't that annoy you? I thought it'd annoy you.
I don't think she's fake Cockney.
She plays off a little bit, doesn't she? Like I look back at them now.
I think she's an example of nepotism.
yeah,
So
exactly.
someone-
Yeah, it's like
Someone saw her link for her only only feet.
Oh, what, is there a website for
Nah,
that? Only
fans,
feet.
But she does only feet on there.
Footballers could be on there, legitimately.
yeah.
Grim.
No, but like for football skills.
And she said, and someone said to her, imagine being one of the biggest pop stars in Europe and then being reduced to this.
All right, I don't think she's that.
And then she said, imagine being an artist and having nearly 8 million monthly listeners on Spotify, but earning more money from having 1,000 people subscribe to pictures of your feet.
It's more of a damning indictment about the music industry
Yeah.
that people don't get justified rewards for their for the music they make. That's what it's about.
But musicians.
About Spotify ripping people off, basically.
That's what the
Theoretically.
whole conversation was.
So every time I listen to Back to the Start, Lily Allen, how much money did she make?
No, a tiny amount compared
Like
to...
0.0001.
You'd be better buying a vinyl if you wanted to do it
Or
that way.
just subscribing to our OnlyFans.
That's
Feet
mental.
pics, though. I don't like feet, man.
I think it's
Do you
very
like
weird.
feet,
I think it's a
Viv?
very weird thing to get your rocks off to. Would you?
No, of course not.
William says, enjoying the show whilst waiting for my flight to visit home in Colombia. I'd like to ask, who is a player from the past that everyone raved about?
You want to
but
talk about
just,
football?
but you just never understood it? By the way, safe trip home
Oh,
Player that
that's a
everybody
good one.
raved about,
in
but
the past.
didn't understand it.
That's a really good one.
There's a few. There's a few. Go on.
You first.
It's a
I think
really good
there are
question.
quite a lot of overrated footballers. I think that we glamorise. Okay, I'll start. I'll get grief for it though. I'm a bit scared, but I'll never let it stop me in the past. Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah, bit overrated. Yeah.
I think he's a
everybody-
very good footballer.
No,
but
exactly.
I think he's
exactly.
gone to being over.
Exactly. I think that Andrea Pirlo kind of going down as more of a legend than Roberto Baggio from Italy, going down as more of a legend than Alessandro Del Piero, going down as more of a legend
win
than
the
Jack
World Cup,
Rangazzola. I know, but it just doesn't make sense. I feel like
I think you
Andrea
said at one
Pirlo-
point he was never world class, which I think that was my issue with it. Like, I rate your opinion about it until the point where he was definitely world class at least 2 or 3 seasons in his career.
What
you
used
know what I
to
mean?
wind me up-
top,
I think
top.
history has been very kind.
But I know what you're saying in terms of the retrospective view on him. I get that, yeah.
What used to wind me up, and not particularly because I didn't understand why people raved about him, I understood, but how like Bobby Moore was seen as like the figure of 66 when you had like Bobby Charlton and Nobby Stiles and all these kind of like, they never got as big applaudits as him for winning that World Cup. That's what used to piss me off.
That's just a United thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but also like,
But as a player, you can't say he was... from
no,
what you
no,
see.
that wasn't.
It's just Bobby Moore
Nobby
was captain.
Stiles was crucial to that. He played every minute. Mark DeSabio out of the game in the quarter final.
Yeah.
Like Nobby Stiles was like well deserving of a lot of
Oh,
praise.
yeah, all
That
of them
Bobby Charlton, like,
Gordon Banks.
Oh, yeah, all of them, no doubt. But yeah, for me,
but
I
he's the
think
only one with a statue outside Wembley, isn't he?
captain.
Like there should be a Sir Bobby Charlton statue at Wembley.
I think.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
I think there will be
course.
though, mate.
They're a bit
They should
slow.
already be.
They're a
No,
bit
but
bloody slow, aren't
they come.
Posthumously.
Yeah, they come at some point.
Hmm.
It's very rare that you get. It's very rare that you get a statue built that you witness. Like Peter Osgood's statue at Chelsea didn't come until at least a decade after he died.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, yeah. Well, him
That's
and
a good
Dennis
point.
Law got. I know they got to see the Trinity, although Georgie Best never.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. I think, but I do think it's rare. Even if you do get to see it, I think it's rare. What about you? Anyone? I think it's a good question from our friend who I'm very envious of, who's off to Colombia.
Yeah,
Someone else suggested Jamie Redknapp.
I think he's
I don't think
underrated.
I don't think he's that well rated though.
Hmm.
Like people don't talk. What I'm saying with
He's just
Andrea
good- he's a
Pirlo,
good Premier League
people
footballer.
talk about Pirlo as if he is and was like the icon of Serie A. When I feel like I could list 10 players that
Yeah.
encapture
I
that
agree
far
with-
more than me.
I also feel like some people just fancied him.
Hazard one for me. Hazard a little bit. No.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the way he played football brought a lot more fans around him because of the street football nature, the skills. I mean, it's unquestionable how good he was, but I just think that level wasn't quite there. Just wasn't quite there, and maybe that's his decision. He didn't want to be.
Oh,
wow!
great
That
hit.
was a
that
great
going
effort
in?
by Gordon.
Was it blocked by Dan
Yeah.
Burn?
No, by I think a Bournemouth player.
They're defending so well, and they're fit as well. They're
Do you
pressing.
know what? Do you know what's quite interesting? And we shouldn't let this affect anything. We should keep going, and we should keep having a conversation and keep bringing it up whenever you feel obliged, right? But you know that's a great block because that's going in. Do you know the conversation that we've just had there? That is the type of thing that gets maliciously clipped. Your bit about Hazard, my bit about Pirlo, and it goes viral, and it doesn't really demonstrate what we're doing.
Yeah,
Like the question specifically said, "What player do you believe was good but overrated?" And we gave our examples of that. That's where you get it in the neck.
yeah, 100%.
One of the things I hate about football nowadays is like this rush to make everything that's now is the greatest.
I hate that.
Like someone has a good season, he's the greatest.
I hate
like, It's
that.
like people going on about Saliba, like, he's the best
I know.
centre back. It's like, what?
It's stupid.
He just got twisted up by Joshua.
It's
Zirkzee last
absolutely, but
week.
it doesn't even matter. Like you can't compare. You cannot compare William Saliba having 2 good seasons with Tony Adams' contribution to football, Arsenal, and England. Like
Yeah.
it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's mental.
Like Sol Campbell's obviously better than Saliba. What are you on about? Like what are we
Oh, it's
talking
mental.
about?
It's mental.
I hate that rush.
The other thing is, I think it's weird that we do that because the two things don't marry up. Most people go, football's never been in a worse state. Like, Ollie Watkins shouldn't be one of the best players in the country. Like, but he is. He's one of the best strikers in the country. Like, it just shouldn't be that. And yet, at the same time, everyone is the best in their position ever. Best manager ever, Guardiola. Best forward ever, Haaland. The next player to win the Ballon d'Or will obviously be...
I don't know about Haaland. I think the generation. Do you know what I mean? I think Haaland and Pep's different, innit?
What do you mean?
I think I think Arsenal fans overrate their players when they've not achieved anything. I think it's why it's important. The trophies for Man City is a little bit different because of Champions Leagues and stuff. I think Pep is one of the greatest of all time.
I do
think
as
that's
well.
justified.
No, I do as well.
Do you know what I mean? But when you talk about like people say Saka's better than certain wingers, I'm like, he's not. Yeah, he's not.
You know what I've seen the other day?
He's not.
Yeah, Saka Giggs.
Someone put Saka in Arsenal all-time 11.
That's just stupidest
And I
thing
was
I've ever
sat
heard.
there like,
Yeah.
hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I've seen...
I had that debate as well with this
great
guy.
wingers
I had the same debate. He said he was better than Pires or Lundberg.
Of course,
Like,
he's
what?
not.
I know Lundberg.
Also, they did it in a team that
Also,
the
winning
demands
the
were to
double.
win the league.
Winning the double.
Like, they were fucking winning stuff. Like,
Can't believe it.
How, like, you know, if you put... Like, I think Saka is a world-class player. I really do. But if you put Saka in at Arsenal all-time 11,
mental.
who are you leaving out?
You've watched, and also it shows
you have to leave
you've
out
watched
Dennis
football for
Bergkamp.
3 years.
Yeah, or Pires or Lundberg or whoever.
Like, there's no room in the team for...
Even
if
then,
you've only got 11 players...
Even forget that. Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez, yeah.
His record in an Arsenal shirt from wide areas is better than Saka.
Unless you're saying he's got the ability to be, and I think
No,
that's
but
a fair,
that's a
I think that's a
potential
fair
chat.
thing.
That's a
No,
potential
but this was the all-time 11 and he was in it.
No, it's
mental.
absolutely...
Mental.
There isn't one single player from Arsenal's current team that gets in their all-time 11.
No.
Not one single player.
Not a chance.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's
I actually think
do you know
when you
on
said it like
something?
that, though, I think Saka is the closest.
Saka could
Because
do it.
Saliba doesn't compete to Sol Campbell, in my opinion.
Saka could do it, but if
Saka
you did,
over Lundberg?
if you did an Arsenal all-time 11, no, but I don't know about formate because you're going like for like here, right?
Yeah,
Lundberg, Saka. But
4-4-2
what I
versus-
mean is, there are so many Arsenal front forward players who have done more for Arsenal than Bukayo Saka has yet.
We've been asked here if Saka's closer than Odegaard, and I think Odegaard's a better footballer, but I think
Saka is
Saka's
closer to
obviously closer because the players that played in Odegaard's position as well, you're looking at like Bergkamp and...
Just for the
Fabregas.
record here,
Ozil,
like
Fabregas,
Paul Merson is still ahead of Saka.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Ray Parlour.
Like the goal
Different position.
that Ray Parlour scored for Arsenal in the FA Cup final. In fact, both goals that day
Yeah.
were world-class goals. It was
Yeah.
against Chelsea. It was in the Millennium Stadium. Ray Parlour's goal and Freddie Ljungberg's goal that day were genuinely world-class goals to win Arsenal silverware against the London rival. What are we doing?
Overmars.
Overmars.
Wait.
Nicholas Anelka.
Absolutely. This is what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
The players that you're leaving out of an...
But I think what it says is a lot of football fans, modern football fans of a certain generation who are basically my age or a little bit younger, they're starved for those players. They're starved for them, mate. And as a City fan, I'm lucky because I've got
Just to
Aguero,
bring some
Tevez.
Arsenal
I've got
fan
these guys.
opinion into this. JR says, as an Arsenal fan, Saka's better than Freddie Ljungberg, man to man, but guess because Freddie won stuff, it's easy to say otherwise.
Not only did
Freddie's
not only did Freddie
quality.
Ljungberg win stuff, Freddie Ljungberg is probably the best big game player that Arsenal have had in the Premier League era. Nobody has done more for Arsenal in finals, big games, than Freddie Ljungberg. Like, Freddie Ljungberg's record in big games when it most matters better than Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? Why are we so dismissive of... Like, do you know the other thing
We
I
get
don't
called
get?
nostalgia merchants for it. It's like,
Are
hold on,
we
we're
that?
just
I don't even think we are.
paying respects to those that have gone first. And also,
Actually achieve things.
on the opposite of nostalgia merchants is recency bias. And I think there's a lot of recency bias. Like,
It's crazy. How can you possibly argue that Bukayo Saka has done more for Arsenal than, I don't know, Nicholas Anelka? How can you... Nicholas Anelka scored a goal for them in the FA Cup final
It's
when he was
because-
18 years old.
but then it's also the same kids that say Drake's the greatest rapper of all time because his streaming numbers are higher than anyone. It's like,
It's the fucking
The guy's
mental.
Canadian.
streaming numbers.
The guy's Canadian. It's got to be a New Yorker or Californian. Canadian, maple syrup.
Maple syrup's
Mounties.
great, by the way. Have you ever watched that documentary about maple syrup in Thingy?
No,
You know
mate.
it's held in
You've
a
got some
reserve
time
like
on
gold.
your hands, haven't you?
Do you know it's held in a reserve like gold
Yeah.
in Canada?
Maple syrup.
Yeah.
They got a surplus ready for
And
the
you can't
apocalypse.
just like
What,
make
could
it.
is it currency? Could I get on the bus and
Yeah.
pay for it in maple syrup?
They trade barrels of maple syrup at like
Yeah,
oil.
yeah.
Do
It's
that?
mental.
What is maple syrup only produced in one country in the world? If they got like a monopoly.
Well, maple
Can't
leaf
be.
in it. Yeah, I think so.
I think they branded it or whatever, but yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Madness.
Of all the contributions to the world, syrup.
And Drake.
And Drake.
And Justin Trudeau. Not looking
Horrendous contribution.
What's the best thing? Oh, Snow, innit? Informer. You know, my dad is, I lick your
Informer.
bum down. that was a banger. Come with a nice young lady, intelligent, yes, she gentle and airy. Everywhere we go, in the ball for a tally.
People were. Did you see that clip someone made of? Well,
Yeah,
you,
they put it with the thing.
with too many man on it.
Yeah,
And
they put
the
it
beat
with
on
the meat.
Yeah, it's so good. All right then.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Big win for Bournemouth.
I can't believe
It's
they've
not.
done it.
Whoa, don't go too early.
It is.
This is
It is
it.
a look. Do you know what they did concede in the last minute in a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge? Do you
Yeah,
think
that's
that's playing
true.
on them, or they're on the attack?
I'd keep it in the corner.
Yeah,
You know what?
Why are
They've
they
done
whipping it
really
in?
well though. They've dominated this. Like whenever we watch the game, I know we've been having chats and stuff. They're always on the ball.
yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
They're
They are.
always in Newcastle's
They
final
are.
third.
Why are they whipping it in? It's so. You know, Arsenal. If this is Arsenal in this
I quite
position,
rate
they
it.
keep it in the corner. They
Yeah,
keep
I
it.
quite rate-
Bournemouth.
But
whipping it in.
What do you think's more intelligent? What would you? What should you do?
7 minutes.
It's more about who's more scared. That's what,
What
I'd say.
should you
Arsenal
do?
are more scared than
What do you
Bournemouth.
believe you should do?
You should hold the ball in the corner. I don't know why they're not doing that. Really.
Although 7 minutes is too long, they wouldn't have known that at the time. I don't think.
True, yeah.
You can't hold it in the corner for 7 minutes.
Arsenal are a scared side. They're scared stiff, aren't they?
Oh, fuck. Newcastle been woeful, man.
Corner.
He's won it. Oi.
He's me. I love this Bournemouth.
He's won a
side.
corner. Areola is the
Yeah.
boy.
He's a genius. You could do him at Chelsea. Why not Chelsea?
I'm not disagreeing.
And he makes big substitutions. He brings players through.
To do this with Bournemouth,
Yeah,
this is like one of the best managerial performances
It's amazing.
of the season.
It's amazing.
Like, amazing.
it's amazing.
If he gets them into Europe, they've taken 4 points off Chelsea and Newcastle in consecutive games, both away from home.
They've beaten Arsenal. They've beaten Man City. This
Both
season.
away from home, 2 consecutive
Come
games.
on.
If they got 1 point out of that,
Yeah.
and bearing in mind, they were Rizla paper away from winning at Stamford Bridge. Last kick of the
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
wasn't it,
yeah.
Reece James?
Great little free kick, wasn't it? Oh, they should have done better, shouldn't they?
Come on.
Oh, my God!
Justin Kluivert with the hat-trick.
Kluivert's got a hat-trick. What a goal that was as well. Bournemouth.
Stick that up your hole.
Bournemouth. Alexander Isak's goal thing is like, look at the stands empty.
Where's
there.
Alan Shearer now? That's what I want to know.
Where's Alan Shearer?
Okay. Yeah, where's is Alan Shearer watching this?
sent you down. He sent you down.
I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. They
on,
deserve
boy.
that. Those Bournemouth fans had to head off to Newcastle 2 a.m. to get there.
Honestly.
They won't be regretting that now.
Mate, the drive back will be so much smoother, isn't it?
They got to drive from Newcastle to Bournemouth.
Man, how the
Fucking
result
hell.
just affects people.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
I'm one of them. I'm
It
not,
suddenly becomes
like-
worth doing rather than like absolutely ruining your day.
like if you lose, you're like,
Oh, mate, it's a whipped goal, man. What a... Look at that. He give him the eyes. He sent the keeper the wrong way. Look, the keeper's going the other way.
that's such a
Mate,
whips
sign
as
he's
well.
pretended to go that way and he's whipped
whips.
it into the near post. That is an absolutely exquisite goal. Justin Kluivert.
Justin
Absolutely unreal. A hat-trick against his dad's former team, at his dad's former home. Patrick Kluivert scored. They
You
knocked
reckon
out the cup.
Paddy's in
Kluivert
the
knocked straight.
stands?
Yeah, of course.
Surely,
it's
innit?
his boy, isn't it? It's his boy against his former
Like
team.
surely, like someone at Newcastle invites
It's not
him down.
cut to him, though, is it? Usually would cut to him.
Yeah, that's true. Mate, you know, when we signed Dwight York in 98, I wanted Patrick Kluivert, man. And I remember the images of him doing his, like, he was doing a medical somewhere, and I was like, please let that
Probably
go.
Barcelona.
And it was for Barcelona,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we signed Dwight York, and I remember going, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Obviously, look how it turned out.
Yeah,
But I remember
you're-
at the time being like, I want Patrick
He scored that
Kluivert.
goal, didn't he, York? When Villa beat Leeds in the cup final.
Yeah.
Villa beat Leeds in the League Cup final and York scored. And like that was the moment, I think.
He scored on the day when Alan Hansen said you'll never win nothing with kids.
Yeah, that 3-1 game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Beckham
They've been
scored a
poor today,
cracking goal
Newcastle.
in
They've
that
been
game.
poor. Where's Isaac? I thought he was best player in the world.
They have been poor, Newcastle. They have been poor throughout.
I never believed
Look
he
at
was that
this.
height, man.
Mate,
Every
they
50-50.
just first every ball.
They're going to get another
Oh,
one.
what a pass. Unlucky.
Oh, unlucky, yeah. Yeah, wow.
Although overall, from Newcastle's perspective, right, just to explore this, like they've won, what, 7 in a row, 9 in a row in all
Yeah, they're
comps?
punching above their
Like,
weight,
they're
aren't
fine, aren't they?
they? Yeah, they're fine.
No, they're fine, but you'd expect them to win this. This result for Bournemouth brings them level on points with Chelsea, although behind them on goal difference. And Chelsea will have a game in hand. They're 6th in the table, 2 points ahead of Man City and Aston Villa, who also have games in hand on
He's
them.
one.
And
Oh, he's in! He's in! Go on!
Dink
Chip
it.
him! Chip him!
Oh, I wanted him to dink it. And they're also 1 point off Newcastle now, who are in fourth.
Bournemouth are 1 point off Newcastle. Have Bournemouth now got more points than us?
Level.
Bloody hell.
You've got
Look
the
at
game
them.
in hand.
Look how good they are. Newcastle 3-1 down at home. You think that it would be all them on the attack trying to get something out of the game. It's Newcastle got 5-6 men flooding forward.
Crazy, man.
Bournemouth 5-6 men
Crazy.
flooding forward. It's unreal. Bournemouth are going for the jugular more than Newcastle.
Is Kevin Keegan watching now?
Mate, they
That's what I
call
want
them...
to know.
Yeah.
Is Kevin Keegan watching?
That's a myth, isn't it? The entertainers.
Oi.
Oh, it's off the line.
Fantastic.
Oh, Gordon.
This is a great game.
Would have been interesting if that had gone in fairness.
Yeah,
like,
3-2.
just for a neutral.
Couple of minutes.
That's the end, isn't it? Missing, like having one off the line in the 94th minute.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
goals down, that's the end.
They've been fantastic. Man.
They've been, look how
Incredible.
they stroke it around. Look, they just look after the ball.
I'll take him
But
at
it
City.
just looks like Newcastle haven't been
Look at
prepared
this.
for them. Like there's so many gaps.
Look at
Oh
this.
my
This is
God.
outrageous.
Mate.
Look at bombing forward.
Oh
look at
my
Kekes.
God, this-
Kekes, shoot, bro. Bro, shoot.
Bro.
Shoot.
Bro. No,
shoot.
me, bro.
Yeah, I told you. Mate. I told you. I told you.
These are getting
told him.
smashed.
Such a bro. Shoot.
Bro.
Come on, man.
Shoot. You told him,
Oi.
bro, shoot.
Maybe he is your bro. Maybe he is
Honestly.
your bro.
I told you.
Mike Cash, are you watching now?
I told you.
Brian, you watching now? Brian Tinian, you watching now? Hey, Brian Tinian, are you watching now? Honestly, who's watching? Seriously.
Bottled it halfway.
Brian Tinian playing for Newcastle United. Brian Tinian,
Bottled it halfway.
you watching it? Unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Bosh. Look at this. Bosh. Oi.
Bosh.
Look at this.
He's into that.
Look at this. It's prime Roberto Carlos here. Look at this. Look at him smashed.
Kirkes.
Look at this. Bang.
Bang.
Honestly, they're not getting Champions League these lot. No way.
Bang.
Lyrical blow to the jaw.
Look at this. Oh.
That's all right.
Get out of the way.
Mate, I love this Bournemouth side. I can't believe it.
Can't believe it either, you know.
Trippier.
11 goals,
Trippier
4
did
assists for
nothing.
Clive this season.
Trippier did
It's the
nothing.
end of his career, and he's got to end it now. I think. Him and Carl Walker. It's the end of the right backs.
I cannot believe it. 4-1 away
2
from
subs.
home.
Look at this.
The second that Newcastle got one back, I thought game on, you know. Standing
Yeah, they should have put
ovation.
pressure on, really. Yeah, but look at this.
Uno. Dos.
He's fucking
Shreds.
fantastic, isn't
Look,
he?
that whipped one, man.
He's fucking
you eye it up,
fantastic.
that's very much my range. You eye it up that way. Other side. Unreal.
Mate, they live in the life. They live on the seafront.
Hey, they live in La Vida Loca,
They live
mate.
on the seafront.
£1 park.
It's a sandy beach. It's not a pebble beach, is it?
Now,
Sandy
Bournemouth
sand.
is nice.
Mate,
Bournemouth is
sandy,
nice.
sandbanks. Sandbanks.
Sand, not pebbles.
One of the
Yeah,
most
Bournemouth
beautiful
Beach,
parts
Because
of the world.
Western Supermare is fucking
It's like
pebbles.
Beverly Hills down there.
Yeah,
It's
Morecambe
like
Bay,
Beverly Hills,
Blackpool, that's pebbles.
90210.
Yeah, that's sand down
Honestly,
there.
they're living in Marbella.
Do you think they fuck around in Bournemouth? That's sand.
Mate, Harry
sand.
Harry Redknapp
Quartz.
lives down there.
Does he?
Yeah, Harry
Yeah,
Redknapp
yeah.
in Bournemouth.
All the
that's
retirees.
why I like Jermaine Defoe when he was West. You know when they'd always send players to Bournemouth, Jermaine Defoe and that.
Ferdinand went to Bournemouth. People forget
There
that.
you go. See, because of Harry Redknapp.
Yeah,
Because he lives
yeah.
down there. Him and Sandra.
Sandra,
Well,
yeah.
you're on loan, innit?
Yeah, didn't Jamie Redknapp play for
Rio's
Bournemouth?
on loan, yeah.
Rio.
See you
Jermaine
later.
Defoe.
They're all going home now.
Who managed
Adios.
them as well? He managed them, Harry Redknapp. He managed Bournemouth, didn't he?
He's managed all the little clubs on
I
the
would love
south.
to be outside there just watching all them twats walk out.
Jordan.
My tit-
Why,
Mate, this is
aye,
prime.
man.
This is prime Barcelona. For Bournemouth.
Why, aye, man.
Bournemouth are Vanarama. There are clubs in the Vanarama bigger than Bournemouth.
Yeah, of course there are.
Do you know what I mean?
Son.
Bournemouth are bigger than Bournemouth. Yes, they are. Enfield Town,
No.
Tamworth are bigger than these lot. Honestly.
Tamworth.
Here we go.
It's
See you
all
later,
about-
Eddie Howe. Unlucky.
Eddie Howe gets slapped up at home by his former club, Bournemouth, Areola.
I
You're
cannot
great.
believe it.
What a game.
Areola.
What a performance by Bournemouth.
Areola. I mean, that's performance of the weekend already.
Oh, it's already.
Nobody can beat that performance this weekend.
Justin Clive.
No, we've got Ipswich. After
Imagine
Ipswich
having a
10-0, that'd
son
be
in-
great.
Your sons are
If you could get a win, that'd be a performance of the weekend for
Hey,
you.
worry
lot.
about
With
yourselves. We're
with
like-
your
we're above you in the
two
league.
billion,
We're above you in the
2
league.
billion
Mate,
quid
you're
sinking
languishing below us
shit.
in the league. You're spending billions on Erling Haaland because you're desperate and scared.
Yeah, why don't you try to get back to winning ways?
Why don't you try and pick up some points and get above us in the league? If we're so bad, why are you below us in the league? 9 defeats out
I
of
thought
11.
we're above you.
Geezer should have been sacked. Joker.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, people wanted to compare him to the best ever. People wanted to compare him to Ferguson. 9 defeats in 11. Should have been given a tic tac, mate. You worry about where you are in the league. Don't come for us.
We're doing all right.
Who's
We're
that?
doing
Joe
okay.
Cole and who?
It was just some random.
It's just an
guy.
advert.
Joe
Yeah.
Cole's getting his boat race about, isn't he?
Yeah, he gets a lot of
Yeah,
work
yeah.
these days, isn't he? He's got
Yeah.
a podcast
We should get him on the club.
in adverts.
He said he didn't want to work with you. I met him. He's
What
like,
did he say
I'd love
about
to
me?
work with you and Adam. I'm
Yeah.
not working with Boot. That's
No,
what he
it's
said.
impossible.
We can still do that.
That's impossible.
We can
Why
do
don't you
Buvey
message him?
tonight.
DM him now on Instagram.
Yeah,
Go on, do it.
I'll do it.
Do
I'll do it. Well, no, the stream's about to end. So I'm not
Just,
doing it right
just
now.
go watch it, Joe.
No. We've got to shout out Sky Bet. There's no one like the fans. Check out in the description Sky Bet. Download it. Some huge free bets and boosts all season long.
There's no link in the description, so just go to
There
the
is.
store.
Why are we not promoting it in the description?
See there, it says no link in description, so don't push to that.
Oh, sorry, lads.
So go to the App Store, the Play Store, download the Sky Bet app. Sky Bet are giving you weekly free bets, boosts all season long. Sky Bet, like Buvey said, is for the fans, and the club is for the OGs. We will have another podcast out on Wednesday. It's been absolutely delightful being with all you guys today. We had loads of people tuned in as well. We were kind of a bit skeptical about doing this game, this early kickoff. Would people tune in? And you've all tuned in, so thank you very much for tuning in. Absolutely wonderful. We'll give Rory the final word.
Yeah, it's been
of
an
the
honour.
show.
Thank you very much. Justin Clivert there with the match ball. Bournemouth fans going potty in the away end, a million miles up in the sky at Newcastle. Fantastic game, fantastic morning. I've loved every minute of it. And we will see you all when we're next live. When's that, Booth?
Next weekend.
What
The
game?
podcast is out Wednesday.
Big one.
What one?
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah, huge one, mate.
Man City, Chelsea.
Ooh.
Rory against Buvey. Buvey against Rory.
Big game.
I think it is.